You're on the Six Screens Telenetwork, earning the reputation of giving all the right ingredients, uninhibited, and exposing the hard, cold facts about the Watchtower Society. Disney.
Well, thank you all for coming on tonight. We got a lot of people coming through here tonight, so thank you very much. We have got a great program coming up here next. We have Gilbert Gonzalez, his brother Jesse. They're coming on the Six Screens live tonight. We're looking forward to the program. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. The Tale of Two Witnesses. That's the name of the program. Hello, Gilbert. Let's bring Gilbert on right now, and Jesse. Let's bring them on. Let's add them to the stage. Hello, guys.
How's it going, Rick?
Hello, Rick.
Well, yes, Gilbert. Well, I'm awake tonight. Last week I fell asleep, but Jesse, we're here with you guys. We're not going to leave you hanging tonight. We got a lot of people listening in here, so I'm looking forward to your program. So I'm going to bow out. I'm here if you need me. So let's bring you guys on. And I'm here. Don't you? Thank you, Jesse. Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
You know, when we start a show, Jesse and I, in our channel, we, it's, okay. All right. So, why is it? I wonder why, when we do the show, before it used to let me, bring things in. So let me ask Rick. Let's try this.
Maybe you can't do it on the Six Screen.
We used to. Hey, Rick, is there a reason why I can't pull up?
Yeah. Let me put the. Give me a second. I got the telephone line goes out. I'll hook that up in a second. But let me give you a link. I'll give you a link that I'll put up there so people can come in and join you. Okay.
No, but is there a reason why I can't put up slides like we used to?
You should be able to do that. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try it again. Let me try a slide. So it's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
See, it's not letting me add. It's not letting me add to the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick, we can't. We have no control over. We can't bring in slides or anything.
Huh. Well, that's weird. I mean, I don't know why. Nothing has changed.
Yeah. Because usually, you know, it'll let me upload it, but for some reason, it won't let me like hit. Maybe I'm not like. It doesn't give me authority. So.
Okay. Well, let's see. Can I put this up here?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was just checking different things, but I mean, I don't want to bother you for every single one. You know what I mean?
Well, that's weird. I don't know why I can't put that up.
I'm gonna try another one. I'm gonna try a different one. Yeah, it's not giving me authority. Like usually it'll. Do you have to give like somebody authority to do that or no?
Well, you should have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should let me. I wonder if I leave the studio and I come back. No,
that's what Steam says.
What's that?
Said the same thing. Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
Okay.
Leaving the show.
Let me try to get out and come back in.
Yeah, try that. Yep. All right, we'll try that. We'll get Gilbert back on. Just gonna have a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we'll get Gilbert back on with us. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Gilbert, we're right back on, just trying to reset things and get things moving. All right, let's bring him back on.
Oops.
Try that now, Gilbert.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not letting me. It's going to be hard to do a show. Site settings. So,
We'll do it live.
We'll do it live. So
we'll just have to do it without Dino.
Oh, without, I can't pull up any slides.
Okay, we're just gonna have to talk about it.
Okay, we're just gonna have to talk about it.
Okay. Well, they're fresh in the news. Everything was fresh in the news.
Okay.
Yeah. We could look at them right there.
Okay, so we'll start the show talking about what I don't know, Frick, if you can just show that video, that'll kind of help get the thing going. The Watchtower came out with the video.
Promises pleasure and security, but if we want it all, there's a cost. We could be slaves to what we've bought. Let's keep it simple. Jehovah knows what we need. Let's keep it simple. And be happy. Let's keep it simple. And you and I will be free. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah. Wow. And let me do that. So one of the problems that we have with that video, Watchtower calls it "Let's keep it simple." Now, my brother Jesse and I've been saying it on the banner that I have at my house. It says "Keep it simple, stupid." And so Watchtower comes out with this thing called "Let's keep it simple." I'm not saying that Watchtower is doing it because of me, but this is the point that we're trying to bring out. In Watchtower's in Watchtower's Bible, the interlinear translation, man, it sucks not having it. In the interlinear of the Watchtower, 2 Corinthians 11, 11, verse 3, it says, I am fearing, but not somehow as a serpent seduced Eve. In the all working of it, it might be occurred to the minds of you from the simplicity of the chastity of the Christ. And that's a word for word translation. So in the point I'm trying to make is that in the Greek interlinear Bible of the Jehovah's Witnesses, it uses the word the simplicity of the Christ, like the King James Bible and everything else. Along comes the New World Translation, and they take out the word simplicity of the Christ, which is a teaching amongst Christians to keep the simple teachings of Jesus and not to complicate them. And then Watchtower changes that, and they call it the sincerity of Christ. So the point that we're trying to make is that everything that Watchtower does is complicated. Right, Jesse? Did you want to talk about that?
Yeah. Let me just add a couple of things. We have a theory. We can't prove it. We cannot prove this. And I hope Rick is listening. But Rick, we think lately the Watchtower has had some of the writers are listening to these 6 screens because some of the topics that we're talking on are being talked about on JW.org's website right away, right after we talk about it on the 6 screens. And for example, the political violence, the citing of all the ones that Gilbert enumerated on the political violence, Watchtower talked about it right away. The misinformation, also on the now this song, Let's Keep It Simple. Gilbert's been harping on that for over 2, 3, 4, 5 years, keeping it simple, keeping it simple. And one of the things I think we're real passionate about this is that we believe, and this is just our thought, we can't prove it, is that they're listening and they're responding, and we have become show prep for the JW.org website. You heard me right. We're show prep for JW.org website. The things you hear on the Rick Fearon show, you're probably going to see it at the JW.org. They're responding. We're wagging the dog.
So when we talk about Watchtower in that video, they say, let's keep it simple. Hold on a minute. Is 607 simple? Is 1874 simple? Is 1914 the end of the world and then the beginning of the end of the world simple? Is 1975 simple? Is the disfellowshipping simple? I mean, what part of Watchtower is simple? And then these people are going to change that from their Bible, just like in John 8, where they rip out John 8 and says, well, this shouldn't belong in the Bible. When Jesus says, he that is without sin, cast the first stone. Think about that. They rip it out. And so Watchtower then goes and takes out the simplicity of the Christ. Something that 7 times in the Bible, the Christians, because you still listen, Bible Hub, 7 times the apostles mentioned this, they use that word. And it referenced this, it was a teaching of the simplicity of Jesus Christ. And then this is the argument that you hear on the 6 screens everywhere else. The problem that a lot of people have with these churches is that they complicate Jesus. So you mean to tell me that Watchtower is now going to go and have this video about let's keep it simple?
You know, when Gilbert flew an airplane over the San Diego convention a couple of years back, the city overseer came over. We're neighbors, next door neighbors in our commercial buildings. And he came over to talk to me. And he goes, why is Gilbert, got a demon? What's Gilbert's problem? And so we started talking about the gospel of Christ. And I told the city overseer, Mark DeAnda, and I told him, Mark, before you die, you have to accept Jesus Christ as your savior. And he told me under his breath, he looked down on the ground and he said, it can't be that simple. It can't be that simple. What Gilbert and I are proposing to everybody, all your viewers, is tonight, is that the Jehovah's Witness, the Watchtower.org, the JW.org, is uniquely and exceptionally not qualified to use the word simple. Let's keep it simple. They're uniquely not qualified in the human race to use the phrase, let's keep it simple. They're uniquely not qualified as human beings, let alone a Christian church, to use the word Christian principle. And I feel real passionate about it. I'm not going to get up and yell like if I was Mike, but I really feel real passionate about it, that as an organization, they can't use the word let's keep it simple. These are the people, like Gilbert was saying, who invented 1914 teaching. These are the people who are saying you can't wear a beard, you can wear a beard. These are the people who have complicated the blood transfusion. These are the people that you heard them testifying at on the Australian Royal Commission, child abuse. Even the judge was ready to pull his hair out listening to Jeffrey Jackson and all the lawyers of the Watchtower. This is an organization in the history of mankind. There has never been a group of people who are less qualified to use the word, let's keep it simple. Nothing, even masturbation, is complicated with these people. Everything is complicated with these people. Even sex between a man and a woman, 2 people who love each other, is complicated with these people. They can't even say sex. They use the word porneia. These are some sick individuals. And I think my blood is starting to boil, so I'm going to let Gilbert, I'm going to get off this rant. But they're uniquely not qualified to use the phrase, let's keep it simple.
Yeah, so when you think of sex, you think of sex. But Watchtower starts dividing sex into sections with the word porneia. And you mean to tell me you're going to keep it simple after you insulted the apostles and Jesus Christ? And you think that, oh, Gilbert, you're making a big deal out of this? No.
And let's talk about 2 Corinthians 11:3 when it talks about the simplicity of the Christ. A person could rightfully, a Christian can say, defend the Jehovah's Witnesses, because they have a lot of people defending the Jehovah's Witnesses all the time. And they could say, wait. If you go to Bible Gateway or Bible Hub, you're going to see that maybe 30 to 40% of the Bible translations in the world use the word sincerity like JW.org does. And that even furthers my point that let's say there was a 30-70 division or a 40-60 or a 50-50. Why did Jehovah pick the side of sincerity instead of simplicity?
Well, if you look closely at those translations, the King James is an old translation, right? So when you get like the American Standard and you get any translation that's like 200, 300 years old, it's going to say simplicity. But all of your modern translations are going to the other word, because when everything is simple, it goes back to what you guys already know. You have no control. That's why I always say, and you guys can quote me, that simple made complicated is evil. Why do people like the Watchtower get something so simple and complicated? Why does Watchtower get masturbation that's so simple and complicated? Whether it requires a judicial committee, whether 2 elders need to investigate. Think about that. Every subject under the sun, Watchtower complicates. Because simple made complicated is evil.
Yeah.
Is Rick, are you watching the show or no? Is anybody in the home? Because I can't pull things up.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here, Gilbert. Yeah.
So having said that, we were going to open it up with this video, but I guess we can do it now. This is why it's so important. This is why it's very important what we're saying. Did you want to
Warning, you are witnessing the spirit of free speech in action. Do not attempt this at home. Repeat, do not attempt this at home. The GG for GB are peer-reviewed, seasoned professionals with over 90 years experience in spiritual warfare and navigating the fine line between church and state and jocularity. Participate at your own risk if you must, and may God be with you, even if you're wrong.
Yeah. I wanted to put that one out, but it goes to show that these topics are not being discussed a lot, and we want other people that make videos to discuss this topic. Like in Casablanca, my favorite line is when Humphrey Bogart hits the table and he goes, "Of all the towns and all the gin joints in all the world, she walks into mine. Of all the words that you can take out of the Bible, why do you take out kiss the Son, Psalm 2nd? Why do you take out he's that without sin, cast first stone? Why do you take out the simplicity of Christ? Of all the words in all the Bible, why do you take these out?" This is what I'm saying. I mean, we're doing a warning. A lot of you guys want to do videos like this one, but it's easier. It's easy when you're watching. But and all joking aside, what we're trying to tell you guys is this is some deep stuff.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people have talked about it. For example,
we want more of it.
Yeah, I don't remember who made the video. It was JW. He's a young black brother. God, he makes great videos. Very good videos. But he talks specifically about the "let's keep it simple," and I think that's where you copied it from. But he mentioned the exact same thing we were saying, how they're uniquely not qualified. That song, it's almost like we don't want to go there because that'll give it a religious overtone, but it's almost blasphemous towards the apostates, because all the apostates have left because of the complexity of Watchtower. And they're almost like gaslighting the Jehovah's Witnesses here. Keep it simple. Wait a second. People have committed suicide over the complexity of your beliefs. For example, birthdays. Are they right or wrong? Simple, 2 words, 1 word, right or wrong. And they make a whole show out of it. And they ruin all these children's lives.
And you know what? Jesus talked about that, right? When he says, you invalidate the word of God because of your tradition. Or because of all your nonstop rules and regulation.
Or look at the beard. It's natural. Let's keep it simple. Okay, let's go with the theme of Watchtower. Gilbert says, let's keep it simple, stupid. Watchtower says, let's keep it simple. Let's stay up.
No, I say keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
They say let's keep it. But go ahead.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Let's talk about anything under the sun. The beard. Something so simple. A man grows up. He doesn't shave. Easily. Simple. He grows a beard. Not 7 million, 3.5 million Jehovah's Witness males. They have to get a directive from the Watchtower whether they're going to grow a beard or not. How is that simple? Or a blood transfusion. You're dying, and the doctor says, you know what? If you don't have a blood transfusion, you're going to die. So we're going to go back to 2,000 years and interpret a manuscript that you don't even know who wrote it. They're complicating every single aspect of human life. That's why we're saying these are people uniquely not qualified to even open their pie holes.
Yeah, and I think I think more and more people that are doing videos on that specific subject is going to resonate with the Jehovah's Witnesses that are tuning in. I think this keep it simple. And you mentioned about, like I say, keep it simple, stupid, because that comes from the Navy, the U.S. Navy, telling the kids, keep it simple. We've been doing this for 200 years. Don't, keep it simple. Just do what we tell you. But Watchtower says, let's keep it simple.
Yeah. But Gilbert, you know what? You always say pray for your enemies, right? And let's talk about that. on this subject. You said that the Jehovah's Witnesses are tuning in.
Mhm.
I know that some of them listen in Yuma, but I hold them in contempt, and I really think they're stupid. I really think they're stupid. And you always say, Jesse, don't talk that way, don't talk that way. But I think the Jehovah's Witnesses who are still there, if they're not in there to sabotage the JW.org, they really are stupid.
Well, even
The smart ones have already gotten out.
Well, even Jesus addressed that because he said, "Don't cast pearls before swine."
Mhm.
There was a moment in time when, after all of the things that Jesus did, at some point, you have to say, you know what, it's over. We can't cast pearls before swine.
This is
Are we at that point yet with the Jehovah's Witnesses? I don't know.
think so. Like if your mom and dad are still in, if your brother and sister, our sister's in
Mhm.
Somerton, Arizona, there comes a time where we have to say these people are stupid. They're stupid. Look, let's keep it simple. Didn't they write about 1914, Daniel, and the year for a year, and how complicated? How can a Jehovah's Witness look himself in the mirror and sing this song, Let's Keep It Simple, when they have the teaching of 1925, the teaching of 1919? These cannot be explained by mere mortals.
Mhm.
The things that there's no simplicity in this. There's no elegance. For example, and here's another thing about keep it simple and sincerity, how they're uniquely not qualified. Let's go to that Star Wars. And too bad you can't use any graphics and you can't use any videos. But so we're going to do everything by memory. But remember in Star Wars when Obi-Wan Kenobi is looking at the lightsaber? And he says, this is such a simple and elegant weapon. It's such a simple and elegant weapon. He goes, can you imagine if Obi-Wan Kenobi was a Jehovah's Witness? He'd go, it's such a the sincerity of the weapon. Doesn't that take away from the quote of Obi-Wan?
Mhm.
Think about it. The simplicity of the Christ in the hands of Watchtower. It's like, for instance, our freedom. Can you imagine our freedom in the hands of Kamala Harris?
Mhm.
Holy shit, you're screwed.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with the simplicity of the Christ in the hands of JW.org. You're screwed.
Mhm.
There is no simplicity in the Christ.
Hey, Rick, can you see if that one can? Maybe if I do it this way, I think I found a loop, a way to get past the reason. For some reason, it's not letting me show slides. But hey, Rick, if you can put that on the screen, maybe we can. You there, Rick?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Yeah. See, let's try that. And let me just try one thing here. And does that still have the does that still have the cascading, or can you see that?
No, it's a cascading.
Oh, it's cascading?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not working. Okay.
It has, yeah, it's cascading all the way down.
Okay, it's cascading. That's fine. So I was gonna try to get that one going.
Okay, Ricky Bobby corrected me. The lightsaber was an elegant weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He did not say simple, huh, Ricky?
Mhm.
Yeah, the blaster was so uncivilized. Yep. Okay, we're being fact checked in real time by Keith Silver and Ricky Bobby. They corrected me. But yeah, but that's the point. It was elegant.
Mhm.
The simplicity is elegant. When the Jehovah's Witnesses talk about the sincerity that there is in Christ, they're complicating everything. They're muddying the water. And these are the people who talk about 1914. No elder could explain that up on stage.
Mhm.
And all the witnesses, you got to admit, all the publishers that were listening to the talk on 1914,
Mhm.
we were all asleep. We were purposely hypnotized. When a brother went up there, try to remember when you were a Jehovah's Witness and a brother was going to explain 1914 from 607 down to 1914, the year for the year, the rock hitting the feet, the end of the Gentile times, the beginning of the Gentile times. There was some days listening to it where I thought about maybe committing suicide. I mean, it was just so painful listening to that garbage.
Mhm.
I contemplated like a green pasture somewhere, or maybe like The Godfather, getting a warm bath and just slitting the vein. I mean, that was some deep stuff. These people are not simple. There's no simplicity in it. Now, here's something very interesting. A couple of weeks ago, me and Gilbert were talking about this, and we debated about this because there's something in the news, and it has hit JW.org. It's in the news, and it's JW.org. These people are all over the news now.
Which one? This one?
Let me talk about it real quick,
That
because Gilbert was obsessed. No, the Olympics, and he's
Oh.
going to go into a rant, and maybe somebody has to comment on this, but it's something that Gilbert's real passionate about it. I'm not. A couple of weeks ago, they announced, or maybe a month ago, that the young girl, Caitlin Clark, was not going to be in the Olympic team. And Gilbert threw a fit. You threw a fit.
Mhm.
Because she's the best basketball player in the women's sport.
Mhm,
Did you go see her in Phoenix?
No, it was packed. Yeah.
It was packed. She filled up the Phoenix Sun Stadium.
Mhm.
Well, the JW.org, if you go there right now, the title, I don't know if you have it.
Oh, Rick, if you could put that on JW.org. Check this out, Rick. This is from JW.org about the Olympics. Hey, Rick, you got to see this.
Now, here's the thing. Let me just talk
Go
about
ahead.
it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we watch the Olympics, and I was listening to Charles Barkley talk about it, I was listening to some
Mhm.
commentators, and I really don't care about the Olympics. I really don't give a rat's ass.
No.
But listening to these great athletes talk about it, the way Charles Barkley was explaining it, is how they weren't talking about unifying. They were just talking about the greatness of their craft and how these young people prepare
Mhm.
all their life to go meet. They don't go there to fight. Well, the boxers do, but they go there to compete at the greatness of their sport all over the planet.
Yeah.
And so everybody is so happy that they're doing that. They trained since they were little kids. And then the Watchtower comes out with this stuff. You want to talk about that?
So Rick, check that out. Can the Olympics, but notice that they put italics on the word really unite people. Where have you seen that? In 2 occasions. What does the Bible really teach with italics? And they did it right here. And the other place that you see it is in Genesis chapter 3, where Satan the devil says, is it really the case that God said? Why is it that Watchtower is using the exact same language as Satan the devil? And they do it on this publication, and they do this on their books. But here's the other thing. This article is not even, I would venture to say that's not even 200 words. You mean to tell me that everything that transpired in the Olympics, all you have to say is less than 200 words? You would think that you would have a Paris correspondent from the Bethel office covering the Olympics. How about when that girl, remember I showed you the video, I forget her last name, but anyways, she wins, and what does she do? She says, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Think about that. There's other examples too of people thanking God. Even the tennis player, people showing their cross, and the Olympics are trying to hide God, hide Jesus. I saw the video where she won the 400-meter race, and she's thanking God, and this is live, right? And then you go back 3 days later, and NBC the same video, and that's not there. The part where she's saying thank you, God, and she's looking up. But the point I'm trying to make is that Watchtower on that article says, well, Rick took it down, but let me see if I can get it up here. If you go to JW.org, it has the Olympics. Can the Olympics really unite people?
And here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows you that we're the dos testigos. And
Those testigos,
Dos testigos. We're Woodward and Bernstein Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
So we're always reporting. We're on the case.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, and this is why we say don't attempt this at home, because we're seasoned professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Something interesting about the Watchtower, JW.org, that's not even the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
The controversy was the attack on Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the crisis is all over the planet, that everybody's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the athletes that are super liberal, like Charles Barkley, for example,
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about the sport. And so you go to NBC, ESPN, you talk to any
Mm-hmm.
liberal reporter, any communist reporter, Democrat reporter,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be talking about the sport, which is good. It's just good because, but they're not talking about what you just talked about. They're not talking about the attacks on Christianity. If you go to Paris, France today, you're going to see bus drivers who are driving around Paris with logos that
Mm-hmm.
say "Stop mistreating Christians." Those are being arrested by the authorities.
Okay.
So you have real life arrests going on of Christians. You have real life blasphemy on the Last Supper that we all saw, and you saw the some of the athletes that are Christian are thanking God publicly. All those are being censored. Free speech. That's why we said warning. Do not attempt this. We're in the union of church and state and free speech and jocularity. We're seasoned professionals. Do not attempt this at home. But what's happening is that the JW.org, they don't have seasoned professionals. We're the show prep for JW.org.
Yeah.
In other words, they're like chihuahuas that are barking at our feet because we tell them what to report tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, these are the people who are talking about can it unite? That's not even the question. That is not the question. The question is, are you going to stop attacking Christianity? The Jehovah's Witnesses can't even protect Christ. They can't even defend Christ. They can't even defend Christian values.
Yeah, and also on that video, that Watchtower article, it's religion. This religion is attacking. Think about this, because I got to talk to you about one of my dates. There's a girl, and I mean, like she was a Chihuahua. Like everything is World War III.
She was short.
No, everything. She's angry about everything, and I'm like, she's like a Jehovah's. So I'm like, what the hell's up? This girl's like a Jehovah's Witness, but she's not. But that's the whole thing. This is a religion. This is a religion that attacks people going to Paris to run, to play basketball, to go swim. The Mexicans almost beat the Chinese out of the men's swimming synchronization. It was amazing. And I was like, oh, Mexico on that team. But here's the thing: Watchtower even attacks them. Like we said earlier, Watchtower attacks masturbation. What the hell do you not attack? Think about that. What the hell is safe from Watchtower? Look, we have apricots, right? Candied apricots. When is Watchtower going to write an article against this?
Well, here's the thing, and the interesting part is that Watchtower attacks the Olympics.
Yeah.
But when the Olympics attacks, it's almost like that Jay Giles song, Love Stinks. You love her, but she loves him. He loves somebody else. You just can't win. Love stinks. You have an eternal triangle going on here.
Yeah.
Because the Olympics attacks Christianity and attacks Christianity, and the JW.org attack the Olympics, not because they attack Christianity, but because of whatever reason, perceived slight they have. Nobody knows what they're reporting on a non-issue. They're reporting on a non-issue.
Jesse, it's so non-issue that it doesn't even bounce to 200 words. It's all gobbledygook. No Jehovah's Witness read that article. It's bland. It's like genetically modified articles. Genetically modified.
Now you had a purple Smurf dancing like if he was served up in the Last Supper, like a scene with transgenderism. And it offended a lot of Christians, even the Pope, who's a red communist, even the Pope, who hates Christianity, said it was bad.
You know that we have some racists in the comment sections?
Oh, you do?
Shouldn't Mexicans come in first place for swimming? I'm sorry, I could not resist. It was synchronized. It was synchronized swimming.
No. Listen, why do Mexicans like us in Mexico never win gold?
Because all of the Mexicans that know how to
all the ones who
know how to swim,
we're already here in the United States.
They're already here in the United States. Okay, so yeah, that's that on the Olympics. Dang it. Let me see, because I don't want to have Rick go through a whole bunch of them. We do have. Let me go to. Let's talk about another subject before we start bringing in people from. On the phone lines. I don't know if you can pull this one up, Rick. It's
Misinformation.
Oh, keynote file. Export it to PDF first. Upload file. I thought I did. File, export to PDF. We're going to talk about why Watchtower. So why did Watchtower change those names? We're going to find about the reason. What's the reason for this? Let's see if this one pulls up. PDF. Okay, present. Slides. My computer. Man, this was tough. See if you can do that one, Rick.
Yeah, I don't see it there.
There it is.
Okay, there it is here. Okay, we'll put it up.
Okay, and I think on this one, yeah, this one will let me do page 2, page 3. If you go to Watchtower, JW.org, it says protect yourself from misinformation.
Right now.
And this is the heart of why you see Watchtower get rid of simplicity to sincerity. This is why you see Watchtower writing articles, you know, that we talked about the Olympics. Because Jesus says from the abundance of a man's heart, his mouth speaks. And so, Jesse, this is what's coming out of Watchtower's mouth. You tell me when to go to the next slide.
Okay, protect yourself. If you go to jw.org right now, you're going to see in the third of the headlines, they have the one headline, then they have 3 headlines under there, 3 articles. The third one on the right-hand corner.
Mm-hmm.
Protect yourself from misinformation. Now, this has been out maybe 2, 3, 4 years, because if you go read it, it specifically brings up the COVID-19 issue. I know we're beating a dead horse here, but the Watchtower does not sound like a Christian entity here. They sound more like the YouTube woman that died today.
Okay, so they start off the article talking about, you know, pandemics, right?
Right.
And how there's falsehoods are in the waves. So they're blaming people like you who make videos, and you guys are giving snake oil solutions.
But today, a woman died who was an executive for YouTube, and she's famous for, what is she famous for? A lot of things. But one of the greatest things is that during COVID, she was responsible for censoring free speech. She was using the word misinformation. So she was putting herself in a position of an arbiter of what is right and what is wrong. Uniquely not what Jesus says. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. They brought up this ungodly, demonic word, misinformation. And it's something that's not even found in our United States Constitution. The Bible, the Constitution and the Bible do not use the word misinformation. It is an ungodly, demonic word used by these people. And Watchtower sounds more like a YouTube censor or a Google censor or a social media censor or administrator than they do a Christian congregation. But my question is Watchtower going to suffer the same fate as her?
So yeah, the same. But check this out. Jesse just said something, and you got to go back to what Jesus says. Do your research. No, Jesus didn't say that. Jesus says, pay attention to how you listen. When you read jw.org, listen, does Watchtower sound like a religious organization? Does Watchtower sound like a Christian organization? Or do they sound like Google?
Or Facebook.
Or
any organization. The CIA, the FBI, the KGB, anything. The Chinese Communist Party. But they are not a Christian organization. They are an ungodly, progressive organization.
And notice the first thing that they start doing when they write the articles is they blame you for having misleading news. Watchtower blames Six Screens News. Watchtower blames 6 Screens for false reports, for conspiracy theories. You guys see the comments from Jehovah's Witnesses trying to defend Watchtower? You know, they'll use the word conspiracy theories. But notice how, if you keep reading, they never, ever look internally. They go and they say that we're snake oil salesmen giving snake oil solutions,
for example.
But that doesn't have to just do with pandemics. That can be with anything else.
Yeah.
Watchtower is always pointing the finger at you, and never looking at the raptor in their eye. That's what I'm saying.
And they were not an equal arbiter of information. For example, they would quote Dr. Fauci, but they would not quote Rand Paul. They would censor doctors and epidemiologists. They would censor anybody who did not speak what the approved United Nations Chinese Communist Party line was. And therefore, that's why we always say Jehovah's Witnesses are uniquely not a Christian organization. They're a communist progressive organization. They said it. We didn't say it. They call themselves a progressive organization. That's what they are. And what happens to them? Well, one of them gets turbo cancer. And so that's the question I have for Watchtower. Have you karma'd yourself?
Should we put that one up or no? No.
Try to use less of her, because she also says how she has educated people to watch all the YouTube videos. So as we speak, they're probably going to try to censor us as we speak. These are people who are not Christian, and they're uniquely not American. Because in America, there's a spirit in America called the First Amendment. You know, and I always tell people, we're the greatest nation on earth. And let me, if you will indulge me for a few seconds to explain why we're the greatest nation. I think in 1783 or 1786, when we made the Constitution and George Washington was presiding over the First Continental Congress, and we wrote the Constitution of the United States, we were no different than any other country on earth, the same. But there was a group of some blowhards. There was some group of white supremacists, or call them whatever you want, conspiracy theories, nut jobs, hillbillies, whatever you want to call these white angry old sons of bitches.
Ooh.
But they were uniquely special. And we should thank God for these men, these SOBs, whatever you want to call them, because they said, we will not sign and ratify the Constitution unless you include it. And if you read the Constitution and the preamble to the Bill of Rights, it talks in there how the Constitution is not going to be ratified unless there was a group of men who said, unless you put these 10 amendments, which we call the Bill of Rights, which makes us different than all the other countries. All the other countries have a constitution like we do. And it talks about you have to be 45 to serve, or you have to be 18 to do this, you have to do that, you have to tax and gold and silver and money. But then in the spirit of the Constitution comes alive in the 10, the Bill of Rights. Watchtower and this woman, Susan from YouTube, they have nothing in common with us. Nothing in common with the American people, with we the people, with the Christian people. We love freedom of speech. We speak even when we're wrong. We don't go around censoring people. That's something that the Watchtower does. If you don't say what they approve of Watchtower, you're going to be disfellowshipped. Same as YouTube. If you don't say what YouTube likes, or what Google likes, what Facebook likes, look at what happened to Jimmy Bell in Facebook. They kicked his butt out. There's a whole lot of censoring going on. Remember in the 50s, there was a song, whole lot of shaking going on? There's a whole lot of censoring going on, but it's not done by us Christians, us Americans. It's being done by progressive organizations. It's not being done by guys who put welding jackets on. It's being done by guys who put doctor's suits on, or who put suit and ties on to go to church. It's not being done by Christians or Americans. We're not censoring nobody.
The Amish and the Mennonites ain't censoring anybody.
Ricky Bobby ain't censoring nobody. Rick Fearon's not censoring nobody. No.
Now I'm just gonna finish it off with. I'm just gonna show 3 slides, and I think Rick's you're gonna love this slide. Oh man, this is from the Watchtower, Rick. You're gonna love this slide. This guy, he's serving with God's progressive organization. That's what it says, and it's based off of this article that you see right here. So Watchtower has a picture of this guy. He worked for Bethel for a long time, and can you see that one, Rick? Yeah, Jehovah's Progressive Organization. Again, don't do your research. Jesus says, listen to Watchtower talking. Now, the last one is this. There's 2 things happening in the world right now. And one, you can't really see it, but the one on the left, you want to tell Jesse what's happening? There's election fraud going on one side, and there's the World Health Organization saying, whoa, guess what? There might be a new pandemic. What does that have to do with progressive organization? Go ahead.
Yeah, I said this a couple of days ago.
So what happens is
Governor Youngkin.
Watchtower says that we're neutral. No, they're neutral when it comes to voting at the ballot box.
Electoral politics.
See, they're lying to you. It's half truths. It's like the devil says, you're not going to die today, but you're going to die. He's telling you a half truth. So when Watchtower says we're not going to get involved with one on the left about the voter fraud and we don't do that. We're Christian. We don't get involved in politics. And that's a big lie for all of the people when you hear they don't get involved in politics. That's not true.
Can you zoom it a little bit bigger?
No. So what happens is on the right, when it comes to a pandemic, say it's going to come next month, do you think Watchtower is going to have an opinion on the one on the right? So go ahead.
Okay, yeah. This is what a lot of times I have a hard time explaining to everybody. My theory is that the Jehovah's Witnesses are a political entity.
Yeah.
They're not a religious entity.
Mhm.
They're like a rhino. They're acting like a Republican, but they're not. They're a Democrat operative. Or like let's say you're in the Soviet embassy in Moscow, the American embassy in Moscow, and you go to sleep with a prostitute. You think she's a prostitute, but she's not. She's what they call a spy. And she's going to find out information to spy out the place. The same thing with the Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not Christian. They're artificial. And then that picture, go back to that picture.
Oh, well,
There's a thing called electoral politics.
Yeah.
And Governor Youngkin is talking about how there's going to be cheating going on and what he's going to do to stop the cheating and how he's going to fight the cheating. The Watchtower say, we don't care. We don't get involved in electoral politics. But look at the next picture. There's a politics, and it's called in the vaccination.
No, the monkeypox.
In the monkeypox.
Yeah.
Now, Watchtower will do everything that the political bureau of the World Health Organization tells them to do. What I'm saying is they do get involved in politics. They put on the sheep and wolf, the wolf in sheep's clothing. They act like, oh, no. We're politically neutral. Like, no, you are. You're involved in all the politics of the world.
They're like when Satan says, "You will not die."
Right.
Well, we're not political. We're politically neutral. Okay, on going to the voting ballot, that's just one. But everything else,
They're politically.
They're
in bed with the WHO. They're in bed with Google. They're in bed with YouTube. They're in bed with the United Nations.
Yeah. So I think that was it. So I think we made our point on that, right?
Yeah, that was a real good point. That was a real good picture because it was a side-by-side contrast of two political issues. One of them was electoral politics, and the other one was the politics of medicine. A lot of times you hear women say, "Get the politics out of my vagina," they say, or "Get the politics out of my uterus." We say the same thing. Get the
uterus.
Yeah, we say the same thing.
Get your uterus out of my church. Yeah, it works both ways.
It works both ways. Get your science out of my church. Get your get everything. Everything is political now. Everything has become political. And Watchtower has its opinion that only electoral politics is political. No, dude. The way you take your money from the churches is political. The way you're involved in the 501c3 is political. The way you copy and you quote the United Nations is political. The way you go along with the social distancing and the mask and all the COVID regulations is political. Everything about Watchtower is political. The only thing they don't do is the electoral politics.
Well, that's what I say about Satan. Satan says you're not going to die. He technically can say, "Well, Your Honor, I didn't lie," but he's playing with the words.
It's a half truth.
It's a half truth, and that's what Watchtower is doing. It's half truths, and they're giving you the appearance that they're neutral when they're not.
Yeah. Now, listen. I just want to say what JW Suicide says, and it's very important because I've always said that when Richard Nixon was taken out by us, by Woodward and Bernstein, we came up with a slogan that says, "What did he know, and when did he know? What and when did he know?" We asked that question of Watchtower when JW Suicide says they got paid for supporting the jab, though. We don't know. If anybody has some whistleblowing, that would be perfect. If anybody knows the checks, it would be neat if somebody at headquarters knows that they got paid, if they come out and say so.
Okay.
Because those would be the 30 silver pieces.
Okay, and also the Vatican and the Jehovah's Witnesses on the same week announced that all of the money has to go to central headquarters, and they will pay the bills via a central committee. So instead of having 10,000 checking accounts, we're going to have one. And now you're seeing the financial crisis taking place, and all of the news that you've been guys watching. What do they know, and when did they know it? What insider information, like she's talking about? So that's
Yeah, and JW suicide brings up good points, and some of us, but we don't know.
we don't know.
We don't know, but we're suspicious. And somebody was talking about conspiracy theories. The conspiracy theories, for example, if you go to Washington, D.C., and you listen to the suicide attempt on Donald Trump, some of the senators and congressmen told our elected officials, not our non-elected deep state figures, our employees, that there's so many conspiracy theories because we're always being lied to. The same thing with the Watchtower. They lie to us so much that we come up with these conspiracy theories. For example, the jab getting paid. Maybe Watchtower is innocent and they didn't participate. Okay, fine, hallelujah. But since they hide all the books, they have nothing open. Nobody can audit them. All we have left is to have conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Hey, who needs to unmute? Who needs to unmute their mic? Does anybody want to say anything?
Yeah, go ahead and speak up. I think we have New York City on. Go ahead, New York.
New York City. Remember that? Pace Pecani.
Wait. New York City?
718. 718. You want to speak up? Go ahead. You're on with us. 718. You're on with us.
Remember the Pace?
All right.
Hello?
New York City.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, get to the point. You're live.
New York City?
You're live. Go ahead.
Sorry. That's okay. Sorry.
Okay.
No problem. Are you Ruby?
No.
No, okay.
Hey, so when are we going to do when are we going to talk about? Should we do it on a different day? Different state?
No, yeah.
We'll talk about it later.
A little bit later. But okay, then going back on it, because it seemed to be a top message on the live chat. Everybody was saying that they were jabs. I didn't see it at the parking lot of the Kingdom Hall. I did not see it. I was not witness.
Yeah.
And you know what? The only reason I say that is because during COVID, I was at the parking lot protesting at my Kingdom Hall. I would have seen it. I was
okay. And there's nothing wrong with it. Let's say a Kingdom Hall was used for the jabs. Nothing wrong with it. But you can't use the Kingdom Hall to give out food for the homeless. Do you see the hypocrisy there? And like my brother Jesse says, and no one's gonna audit and say, hey, if Joe down the street got paid for having a COVID center, which is normal, right? Because you have to pay for parking lot use. It's wrong for us to ask for an accounting.
Right. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna go deep.
Okay, go deep.
Deep religion, because some of our brothers work for the deep state. We are part of the deep religion because we know more than our elders. But this is what I was going to say, and I think we brought it up on another one of Rick's show. If it's true, they could never ever. It would have to be covered up. If the Watchtower received any money, if anybody received any money, it would be akin to Judas Iscariot taking money, because there were so many Jehovah's Witnesses in the past who did not do the vaccinations. Our family members, our old Jehovah's Witness family members.
Our brother Joe and his wife, anti-vaxxers, 3 kids, homeschool, and then Watchtower pulls a curveball on them.
It would be a betrayal of Judas Iscariot proportions. Because if they were to take money and not tell, think about it, and everybody was influenced to take it. My mother-in-law took 4 of them. She's always sick, destroyed. I mean, you can't even talk over what happened to her body.
Well, it's like I say, remember your silence is a killer, the silence. So is it bad that somebody took money? No, it's the silence. It's like what you say about Nixon, it was the cover-up.
The cover-up. And the same thing with Judas Iscariot.
Yeah.
Getting paid to betray Christ.
Yeah.
Getting paid to force people to take a vaccine.
Yeah. And
it would be the ultimate betrayal. So the Jehovah's Witnesses would have to necessarily cover it up. They would. We have no evidence of it. But now, since they don't let nobody audit, we're left with these questions. Yeah, that was an interesting question.
Okay. So, hey, maybe people are just, it's too much to take in. What do you think, Rick? Too much to take in. A lot of stuff. Were we wrong on anything? We're trying to go through.
You know what? And something interesting. I do remember this. I do know this, and I can't remember who reported on it. There was tons of YouTubers that were reporting it, tons of Facebook apostates. The food program.
Mm-hmm.
The Jehovah's Witnesses were involved in the food program.
With Trump,
Yeah, but the government farms that were the government was contracting with farms to get these boxes of food, and the Jehovah's Witnesses were distributing it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's already a connection there. And all we're saying is, when the jabs came out a year later, was there any funds passed on to churches? The churches are going to be very quiet about that.
And and another thing too. Earlier today, when Rick Farron did that video, of that guy it was a video, right? The leak video, and he was praising him for his good work, the apostate. The name just passing me by right now, but he gave credit to the Rick Farron is talking in this program about the porn elder committee thing. We could talk about that too. But did you see that the porn video? Okay, the elders are reviewed. Yeah,
oh yes, the brother.
But Rick Farron gives credit to the guy who got the leaked video and who also did the commentary. Great video. So if Watchtower gets money from food from Donald Trump's administration, you think a little thank you? You think if Joe Biden would have given them food, Watchtower will say thank you? Instead, they steal like stolen valor. They steal everything and say Jehovah's giving you food. Isn't that? Don't you feel that's? I mean, you can't even say thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Joe Biden, for the food basket, for the administration that made it happen. You can't say thank you. It's like my dad says. There's two types. Remember he taught us when we were kids. My dad would come home. He was at the bar, the club, and in the Kingdom Hall. My dad would say,
Hello?
"It's my turn to teach you about religion." Okay, I'm gonna let her talk. And he said, "There's two types of people in this world: grateful and ungrateful." Those words were more powerful to me and Jesse than everything we learned at the Kingdom Hall. And Watchtower can't even say thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, Joe Biden. So go ahead. It's your turn.
Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Hi, this is Hitley. This is Hitley from New York City.
Okay.
Okay, hi. I just wanted to say that I agree with what you're saying, and it's something that Watchtower is very, very, like you said, is ungrateful and selfish, and they're trying to take all the credit for all that food. But there was a video that someone gave. I forgot what YouTube activist gave or posted a video stating that the letters that were in all the boxes of food that came from Donald Trump, they some of the congregations had some of the elders and ministerial servants shred the letters and then take some of the food that they had, like most of the ones who have like pioneers, elders, some favorite ones. They gave them what you call first fruits, so to speak. They gave them the best of the food, and the other pieces of food, they gave it to other ones that they weren't too highly favored in the congregations, which is really, shows how so-called Christian they actually are,
Was it JT?
I also wanted to say too, yes, that's true. But I also wanted to say too, and I'm not going to be too long-winded, is that, like you said about them being ungrateful, is something. How Watchtower had a deal to sell the buildings, and they sold some of them to Donald Trump's son-in-law, Kushner, Ivanka's husband, and it's something that they deal with people that they want to deal with them. They're so anxious to go and take those monies and then go up to upstate to a compound that looks just like Scientology's compound.
Wow.
And it's like they really didn't give a damn, excuse the expression. They really didn't give. They didn't care. They just wanted, as a business, they just wanted that. And they still showed disrespect to his father-in-law. You know,
Now,
I thought, so how
Yeah.
this is something else.
Now, my
You know?
understanding on the Jared Kushner, my understanding is this: Jared Kushner did not purchase the property. He was the broker that dealt with a conglomerate of Jews, with money, and he was like the middleman. He was like, yeah, but nonetheless, it was still him. But he was the one that spearheaded. Yes, you're right. With and it was very powerful people that were buying that property. I agree with you.
Oh, what was your name again?
Oh, Hitley.
It hasn't changed. That's still her name.
Hitley.
Hitley from yeah.
I got
I'm sometimes on there on 6 screens once in a while. You know.
We're so happy.
I was listening to what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
We're so happy to hear somebody from New York. We love New York. What borough are you from?
I'd rather not say.
Okay, no problem. The reason I asked,
I'd rather not say. I just don't want the dots connected, but it is one of the 5 boroughs.
Okay. No, the only reason I asked is
Manhattan, though.
What I was trying to get at, since you left the city and they left the city, since the Watchtower left the city, do you see less Jehovah's Witnesses out on the street work and stuff? Remember how in the old days
I see less. I don't see too many. I don't see too many with the carts. I don't see too many. Of course, door to door is nothing. There's a lady that came in one of my cousin's buildings. I think it was yesterday. My cousin called me because I'm Palmo. My cousin is Palmo, and she told me that there was 2 witnesses came in the building. In fact, my cousin lives in one of the boroughs that has a very famous apartments complex. And she said a woman came into the building because she was downstairs doing laundry. And this witness woman, she rang the doorbell, but she was trying to see if she could get in with her other partner to, into the building. And my cousin asked her, "Do you have any? Did you ring the apartment the person's bell? In the vestibule?" And they said, "Well, no, we just went to do the building, and it was known that they're not supposed to come in and do any of proselytizing or field service in that building unless they have an appointment with someone, like a return visit or something."
Yeah.
And my cousin told him, "No, I'm not going. I'm not going to let you in. I'm not letting you in. I have to understand the rules."
Yeah.
That was
so the sister got angry, and she and her friend, field service partner, they stomped out of the vestibule. And my cousin said, "I'm not letting you in. I'm not. That's it. I'm not gonna break the rules." And my cousin's been in that building for 15 years. She said, "I'm not gonna get evicted because of some." And the cameras are on them. They got 2 cameras on them.
Yeah.
In the lobby and in the vestibule. And she said she's not gonna get reported. And so it's like they wanted my cousin to break the rules. They never saw my cousin before because I think they were from one of the other sister congregation that's our neighboring congregation. But she said she wasn't going to do it, So that's how it is. But
I was going to ask you 2 questions.
I hardly see it in them.
Hitley, I'm going to ask you 2 questions, Hitley, before you go. Do you speak more? You speak English. Do you speak any other language?
A little bit of Espanol. Yo hablo español muy un poquito. Just a little bit.
My second question is,
but I don't.
Are you involved in any activism? Do you do YouTube videos? Do you protest? Do you do anything like that?
No, I don't. I rather just support.
Okay. So
I rather just support. That's
so
all. I'm on Reddit, and I'm XJW Reddit, and I just just support.
okay.
I
So
don't do
this
anything
is
further.
the reason why I asked you this question, because you are bilingual, you are entitled to vote for me at ggforgb.com in Spanish and English.
Gilbert.
But Tad is on the comment section and he speaks Japanese. And we also have the voting ballot in Japanese, Russian. We have it in Italian, French, Vietnamese, and Russian, and a couple other ones. Even Hawaiian. I have it in Hawaiian. So when you mail, no, I'm serious. When you mail the voting ballots, Watchtower, it's good because an 18-year-old kid is going to see the ballot and he's going to find it funny, and he's going to make sure it gets to the governing body, and the governing body takes it personal. Now, for those of you who watch basketball, and there's a story about Michael Jordan about the last year that he played basketball, and one of the clips, one of the scenes was Michael Jordan was always saying that he took it personal. And so Saturday Night Live made fun of him because everything seemed to tick off Michael Jordan. Like everything was making him personal. Like I take it personal. So the point we're trying to say is when you Orson Welles, George Orwell says every joke is a tiny revolution. When you send the voting ballots to New York, it's a revolution against them. You're telling the governing body the emperor has no clothes. And so what's happening is they hate it because it's like somebody in Watchtower, the mailroom is saying, "You're naked, Stephen Lett. You're naked." We know it. So that's why it's important to go to GG for GB and vote in your preferred language. So do it, and if you want to put my name down as a return address, you're more than welcome.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're from New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something that a lot of New Yorkers have a great tradition of voting twice. So you might go across the river and vote in New Jersey for GG for GB too.
You can do that too. Yeah. You can vote in New Jersey.
Yeah. For GG for GB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. That'll be 4. 2 in Spanish.
2 in Spanish and 2 in English.
Yeah. So see, yeah. So, but definitely do it, and then look at the voting ballot. It says accept your birthright. Don't let anybody get between you and your father. You don't let nobody get between you and your father. And when you do that, it's all downhill. When with Watchtower, it's always uphill. But when you just accept the fact that God is your father and you're his daughter, it's over, man. It's easy.
And O'Hitley, we're going to need your support. I'm going to write.
I agree.
We're going to try to impeach Gilbert again at the Watchtower. Yeah. So we're going to.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for calling in, Hitley.
No,
I was going to say.
Thank you for speaking to me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no. But it's Hitley. How do you? Yeah, Hitley. Okay.
Now, have you been reading the JW.org lately?
No, not really. Not that much.
So you didn't read the?
I guess I'm moving away from a lot of stuff that they put out because it just, it's not only so much triggering, but it's just that it's mind numbing.
Well, you know what it is?
To a great degree that what they're doing. It causes me to get angry at times, and I'm really tired of dealing with that organization. It's just too much trauma.
Yes.
To greater degrees, and so I don't go on their website. I mean I watch other activist videos where they go on the website, and like for instance, Awaken Truth. The young black couple that's now based in Atlanta, and they they originally came from Ohio, and they in Atlanta and like Cleveland area, and they moved to Atlanta, But the point is that they bring out in their videos, JW.org, when it comes to different subjects that they're talking about. And it's so, the way they do it is quite, informative, but, I just don't deal with the organization's website.
Well,
like I
Hilly,
used to. I'm
this
just
is
like,
this is the reason why.
in a way, over it.
Yeah, Hilly, this is the reason why what you're saying is true. A lot of you that are listening, stay away from JW.org, because remember this. You heard it with me, GG for GB. Stupidity is contagious.
Yeah.
When you go on JW.org, you
Yeah.
might want to wear a mask, because stupidity is contagious. But you put it over your ears if you're doing an audio version, or over your eyes. But you're absolutely right. And all joking aside, it is true that stupidity is contagious.
It is.
And the more contact you have with Watchtower, I mean, you got to take a shower. I mean, literally, because you got to, it lingers with you. So that's why we say in the beginning, warning, leave this to the professionals. No,
we think that the Watchtower is very contagious, the stupidity, and it's like a virus that got released in Pennsylvania sometime in the 1800s, and it's very contagious. And voting for the GG for GB is kind of like spiritual ivermectin.
Yeah.
So every time you want to have an urge to go to JW.org, you might want to pick up a GB or GB ballot, and that will help out.
No, the other one. Yeah, that's really good.
So we're here to help everybody. We understand. And you know what? We don't recommend anybody go to JW.org. We here at the GG for GB, we do it for you. We're fully immunized, vaccinated, and peer-reviewed research. We can go to JW.org and not get infected with the stupidity that is contagious.
And check this out. Naked let causes intermittent bulimic retching from Gabby. Wow, what Gabby, that is a great comment.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I've experienced that.
Yeah.
I once had a case of naked let myself.
Yeah.
And I had intermittent bulimic retching.
Oh boy. That would make somebody throw up if that really was true.
Okay, well, I'm glad you liked the show. I'm glad you called in. Yeah.
And I'll say, adios, mi hermana.
Adios, mi hermana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Hilly.
Hilly. Before you go, you don't happen to by any chance own gold bullion or fine paintings, Picassos that you might want to leave to the GG for GB?
Charitable giving.
Charitable giving? No. Okay. All right. Well,
No.
I wanted to throw that in. Okay.
Nah.
For those of you that have like Picassos, or what's up with that? The arrogance of those people to be asking for.
Do you have anything extreme wealth?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a Picasso painting, a Derek Jeter signed autograph ball.
Yeah, for she's from New York.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Wow. That was a good.
Yeah, the organization will love that, because what they'll do is that they'll take these what do you call, precious metals and other furniture and everything that anyone has, and they'll convert that into money and put that in their accounts.
Yeah.
That's what they do. A person leaves them stuff, and then they'll transfer it right to money and put it right in their bank accounts.
Yeah.
JW Suicides
I
wants
don't
to
know what they do really with the material goods fully after that, but they get their money.
Yeah.
I think they sell it.
Wow.
They have ways of doing it. Somebody said.
Do you know why they
I
discouraged
don't know.
Ricky Bobby? He donated TCB or TGB.
Oh, he donated marijuana. Yeah. But hey, just real quick, thanks for calling. But Kevin Warren on the comment section, and I'm going to answer this question. I want to know, do they send people out in service to look for more stupid people? And the answer is yes, because birds of a feather flock together. Jesse, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about that. Kevin Warren, that is a great question. Listen, God puts us friends on earth. And this is an old Mexican thought from the 1800s, from the cowboy era. So when two Mexican men would find each other,
Thank you so much.
and they would start singing at a bar, and they would hug each other because they didn't want to go home too early because their wives are going to yell at them. So they would hug each other and drink tequila, and they would say that God from heaven would send men to different locations on earth so that they could traverse the earth and find each other. And that's how true friends were met. The opposite is true in the Jehovah's Witness world too. Birds of a feather flock together. So people they're so dumb, the Jehovah's Witnesses, that they cannot flock with anybody who has even a smidgen of a good IQ. So they are left to wander in this earth and flock with a Jehovah's Witness when they come knocking at the door. So birds of a feather flock together. Jehovah's Witness with a similar IQ and experience in life comes knocking on your door, and you listen to them and you think you've been enlightened, when it's not true. That person just slightly has maybe a 1 point or a 0.5 IQ higher than that person, but it's enough to accept them in their flock. I hope that answers that question.
Yeah. So the question again, I want to know, do they send people out in service to look for more stupid people? The answer is yes. And we're not joking. Yes. Birds of a feather flock together, and they find each other. They just find each other.
That's something that you can't do any research. This is where you have to use common sense, logic, and experience. And we see this from our parents when they learned about it in the 60s. Our parents were Catholic, and they got in a little fight at the Catholic Church with the priest. And the next day, a Jehovah's Witness comes knocking. And instead of Jehovah's Witness telling my dad to go back and make peace with the priest, he starts telling them how bad the Catholic Church is. And my dad felt enlightened. Yes. No, that was me knocking.
So I want coffee too. So thanks for anybody else want to chime in? I wonder, Pixie usually comes on the show. She has great questions.
No, man,
Yeah.
Kevin warned it.
Kevin I think nailed it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pixie's usually asks good questions though. And Keith is always asking good questions. Okay, now here's the thing. I'll answer this. When I was a kid, I did notice a lot of single mothers with 4 children a lot. And we saw it in the Spanish. Why is that? Because one is called spiritual adultery. Watchtower is getting involved in a family where it's a threesome. It's an incestuous relationship. A husband and wife should make these decisions about what school the kids are going to go to, if they're going to celebrate Christmas, if they're going to celebrate birthdays. That's a decision that only mom and dad should make. But Watchtower gets involved like an adulterer, gets involved in a relationship that they have no rights to. So what happens is these single mothers have one thing in common. They want to protect their children. And so Watchtower knows that these women are in a state of mind of they need protection. And so they go and they promise them protection by having them dress real pretty. The kids look beautiful. And so it's an illusion that if the kids go to the Kingdom Hall and they give speeches and all that stuff, they're going to be protected. And that's what mothers do. But because they're like Eve and they did not listen to their husbands, and because the men are like Adams and the two did not become one. They were supposed to be one. The woman should have said, well, what do you think, honey? And the husband should have said, I don't know. What do you think, honey? And the two, if they would have done that, would have been able to repel the serpent. But the Jehovah's Witness women and those men that eventually follow their wives into the church, they fall into the trap of Adam and Eve. You don't listen to your husband. You listen to a stranger, a snake. And you husbands are not listening to your wife's needs. And you're not making decisions as one family. This is very important. And I talked about this 5 years ago, about 4 years ago in a video about spiritual adultery. Go to my channel, you look it up, type in adultery, spiritual adultery. And it's brilliantly explained. Probably about the best explanation I've ever heard of why these women, Jehovah's Witness women, fall to the trap of Watchtower.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hey, I want to build on that because, and go back to what I said, that the Jehovah's Witnesses are done. Maybe it's not that simple after all. I'm quoting Ronald Reagan. Maybe there's a simple answer after all. Well, what's happening is what the life experiences teach us that a lot of times the Jehovah's Witnesses experience something in their congregation, in their family, like Gilbert talked about the spiritual adultery, and the husband and the wife will say, no, there is a line you will not cross. And so they leave. And then we become apostates. For whatever reason, we become apostates. Many of us, because of fleshly desires, marijuana, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever. But some apostates, some Jehovah's Witnesses they put a line in the sand and said, no, you elders cannot tell me what to do. You cannot tell my children you can't tell us I can't go to college. And so right there, Jesus talked about the wheat and the weeds, and I'm going to get a little deep here. So I postulate, and I want to throw this out there, my theory is that maybe the apostates, for some reason, that are human, are able to discern between right and wrong. And when Watchtower suggests a wrong course, the gut instinct, the human instinct says, no, I can't do this. And he makes a decision, a conscientious decision, like Moses had to do. Will I participate in this or will I leave? And it is almost a separation of the wheat and the weeds. There is a line that many apostates cannot cross. And it could be in sexual relations, it could be in marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, spouse. But there is a line where the spirit of independence of a person says, no, up to this point, there is a line you will not cross. You will not get involved in this. And the elders try to call you and they try to force you. Other elders, other people in the congregation, I think, and this is just a theory, I can't prove it, they don't have that genetic human trait. They don't have the human trait to analyze themselves outside of the prism of their cult. They're captivated 100%. For example, when the song came out, Let's Keep It Simple, what I'm saying is I chalked it up to stupidity. It could be genetically. These people are not genetically predisposed to question Watchtower. They don't have any human capabilities no more. They have sold their soul. They've sold their brains, their thought. They're dumb. They become so ignorant, like you said, contagious. Or maybe, just maybe, they're not human.
And also, because we talked about it earlier in the conversation, how the military says, keep it simple, stupid. Watchtower says, let's keep it simple. Kind of like in Babylon, let's build this thing and we'll go to and meet God. So
let's put our money together.
Let's put our money together. Proverbs 1:14 that I always talk about. So let's is the collective. So the Jehovah's Witnesses have a collective spirit, and Jesse's talking about a independent spirit. So now this is why you shouldn't get mad anymore if you're an apostate, if you've left Watchtower, because it's real simple. And this is why I'm GG for GB, and I have to lay the ground rules down. Because in the very beginning, the Bible says that that God was going to put enmity between this seed, and that seed, right? The two seeds. Jesus comes along and he talks about the master planted seed, and then the devil comes and plants weeds. And then Jesus later on talks about how the wheat and the weeds grow together. They grow together. So since Adam and Eve till today, 2024, August 10th, this is the story of humankind. We all grow together. And some of us fall for the lie of the collective, which really is just the power of the dark side. So you're part of the weeds. But the other part is you're a seed of freedom, which Jesus is freedom. Freedom is the dominion of the free. Jesus, you shall know the truth, shall set you free. So my brother and I were talking about how man is made up of three parts, right? And this will explain the difference between us Jehovah's Witnesses, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the people that have left. Did you want to talk about the three parts that make up the man?
There's the body, the spirit, and the soul. I don't claim to know, but there's something that doesn't allow our brothers and sisters who are left in the JW.org. There's something. I don't know if they don't have a soul. They definitely don't have a brain to think independently of the Watchtower. And that's why I say, have they sold their soul? I don't know. I don't know. But something blocks them. For example, the 1914, the generation that would not die. How come they can't reason? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that the Watchtower lied, and they can't put 2 and 2 together.
Well, I'm going to answer that because so we have the same thing in common with our Jehovah's Witness family. We all have the same body. We're the body. We're the flesh. But then I would say that we also have a soul. We're all a soul. The difference is Jesus says when you worship God, you must worship him not in soul. He says in spirit and in truth. So you either have the spirit of the lie or you have the spirit of the truth. And I say that our brothers love the lie more than they love the truth. And so those that leave is because they leave of the spirit. That's why Jesse said a lot of people leave Watchtower, but they leave for the flesh because they want to have sex or they want to do whatever thing. So they left for the flesh. They didn't leave for the spirit. So what do they have in common? They're physically out, mentally in. They're pomies. They're still in. They haven't received the spirit of independence. They haven't received the spirit of freedom. And because they don't have the spirit of freedom, they don't have the spirit of truth. And Jesus is the truth. It's just it's real simple math. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it could even go even deeper. That what I'm saying is maybe they're not genetically disposed. For example, when Jesus talked about a separation of the wheat and the chaff, or some people call that version the separation of the wheat and the weeds. There's two distinct things, genetic. And he said, let it grow together. Some brothers and sisters, Jehovah's Witnesses, our family, cannot, because the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten, for whosoever exercise faith in him shall not perish. What I'm saying here is that some Jehovah's Witnesses are not mentally, spiritually, or genetically capable of accepting the spirit.
See, that's the part where it's scary to think that they're not genetically capable.
They can't, because look, a human being can. We all make errors, and this is the neat trick about the human beings. We know we erred, and we go and pray, and we ask forgiveness. And like the small guy, when Jesus goes, what was his name? He goes, wait, what are you doing up on the tree?
Matthew, I think.
The small tax collector. And he goes, hey, I have robbed. But look, Jesus, I will pay back threefold. He was going to pay in treble, and he was going to make amends. That's what we do when we do somebody wrong as human beings. What I'm saying, the Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on every door and lied to everybody. They are not genetically capable of saying, I'm wrong. We did a mistake. They're not. And
also, they go, like our brother-in-law says, that we're the walking dead. Whereas we, because of the spirit, as in the flesh, get on our knees and we pray for our enemies.
And the 1975, it was because you guys were overzealous. They laid the blame. They laid the blame.
Yeah. So they're genetically incapable of forgiving us
and turning around,
praying for us, and admitting their mistake. But they
making that correction.
Yeah, they like the video, the articles that we showed. Watchtower immediately starts pointing the fingers, and so the concept of Jesus, they know it very well that Jesus says about the raptor in the eye, but they can't see the raptor in the eye.
And it happens everywhere. And we're the crossroads of politics and church and state. You see that in Kamala Harris today in her speech. She was talking about, when I become president, I'm going to lower the wages. She's not genetically capable, mentally, spiritually, that she's the cause of the inflation. She is the inflation. Just like the Jehovah's Witnesses, you are 1975. They can't. And so I question, maybe they're not part of us.
Well, I don't know. That scares me. Honestly, it scares me. But I would say the Bible verse that I would use for this is I love it the most on John, at the very end of John, the last thing of John. When Peter runs off the boat, remember? He runs off the boat. He goes to Jesus. And what is Jesus doing? He's cooking fish. Jesus is always cooking. He's always cooking fish. He's always making bread. He's cooking. So what does Jesus tell Peter? Do you love me more than these? He tells him twice, but you have to have a kingdom interlinear translation. Understand it. Jesus says, do you have a philia for me? No. Jesus says, do you have agape for me? And then Peter responds, yes, I have philia, the brotherly love. And he asked them the same question a second time, same response. But no.
Yeah, you're right.
No. Yeah, I got to go back. But the
But
third
I
one,
think you can't.
hold
I
on.
think you can't really love God 100% if you're totally in love with yourself, and that's the new God nowadays. It's the ego. It's to be in love with yourself.
Okay.
And I was thinking about what you said about is it too much to take in? What I do is, when I listen to a show like this, then I take notes, and it's more easy to concentrate also. And I try as much as I can to not multitask unless there is a emergency or something. That's also a thing. And I was thinking about you said about that they are so dumb and they are so stupid and things. But I mean, it's just the simple brainwashing. I mean, you can see it everywhere. Like they are not stupid. Like they can be doctors or maybe. I mean, it's like in the Nazi and Hitler. They were doctors. They were not stupid. They are brainwashed. And I think it goes to the love of self, like, oh, I'm selected. I'm a big person. Or I get, like, what you say, a ministerial servant. I'm an elder. And it feeds to the ego a lot to be a Jehovah's Witness, I think. So,
Yes.
but I think also, I have been thinking, I talked about this before last year, I think. I think a lot about now that I really believe it's satanic. I mean, it's witchcraft, it's demons, and but I noticed I haven't been to Jehovah's Witness for many years. I started going there now again after I listened to Six Screens, because then I started to think about it again, and I saw many six screeners, they go to conventions, and I thought, well, I could do it and check up what's happening here in Sweden. But anyway, now I haven't been there since a few weeks now, so I guess I'm out of it now. But I do believe what you say, you have to wear a mask and take a shower, and it's really dangerous. I mean, it is dangerous. I don't think you can get really vaccinated from Satan and witchcraft and things. Even how much a believer you are, they come together. Maybe there are 100 person who is satanic, demonized witchcraft people, and you go there all alone. You cannot get vaccinated. It's very dangerous, I feel. But thank you.
No, we agree with you. That's why we prefaced it. Are they stupid? We don't know. But there is a vaccine against the Jehovah's Witness ignorance. Don't go to the Kingdom Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I likened it to spiritual ivermectin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but listen, I'm going to tell you the problem, Jesse, is I was mentioning earlier. In John chapter 21, is the very end of John. I'm not trying to go like Bible scholar on you, but I learned this when I was in the 8th grade. And it's real simple. Because remember, Jesus is cooking fish. Peter runs out. This is the Jehovah's Witnesses, and they don't understand it. Because Jesus asked him, Simon, son of John, do you have agape for me? And then what does Peter say? Yes, you know that I dearly love you with philia. And so then Jesus goes and says, Simon, a second time, do you have agape for me, the godlike love? And Peter says, Jesus, you know I have philia, brotherly love, like Philadelphia. But on the third time, on verse 17, Jesus changes and he says to him the third time, Simon, son of John, do you dearly love me? Jesus changed the word, agape, and then Jesus says philia. And then Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, do you have philia for me? Do you understand the point? The point is that Peter knew he had a problem with love. Peter did not know how to love. He understood. He wasn't hurt that Jesus asked him 3 times. He was hurt that on the third time, Jesus switched the words and he showed him, you have a problem with love. He didn't reprimand him. He didn't, criticize him. Peter knew so the point I'm trying to make was Jehovah's Witnesses, they are stupid because they love Watchtower more than they love Jesus. See, and Jesus was telling Peter, do you love the fishing business more than you love me?
Hey.
So no, Peter loved the fishing business more than he loved Jesus. So the point with our brothers and sisters in the Jehovah's Witness religion is they think that they love. And that's one of the great things that you learn about the truth. You realize, I look myself in the mirror and I says, God, thank you, because I didn't know how to love. I did not know how to love. And Jehovah's Witnesses think that they love.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Let me translate this to English. Let me translate this to English. I remember there was a great baseball player named Willie Mays. Does everybody remember Willie Mays?
No.
And when he was being introduced into the Baseball Hall of Fame, the reporter was questioning him outside, and Willie Mays was talking to reporters, and they asked him how did he play the baseball with such passion? And he says, you have to love the game. He goes, and then the reporter asked him, did you love baseball? And he goes, I loved baseball, which is so hard for me to say. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is the essence of what Willie Mays said. He goes, I love it because it's so hard for me to say because I love my wife so much. So in the English language, we use the word love and love. And so Willie Mays in English could not say what you just said in agape and philia.
And eros, which is erotic, and stergo.
He would not equate the love. Anybody who loves baseball, nobody who loves baseball would say Willie Mays does not love baseball. But he was in his mind, he did not love it as much as his wife.
So, because in the Greek language, there's four words that you could translate to love, and one of them is erotic love, which is eros. So that's what you're saying. It has to do. So, yeah, you might want to put it on mute, buddy.
Or he can talk.
Or talk. One of the two.
Hello. East of the Rockies, you're on. Hello?
Hey, put it on mute or speak. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm here.
Oh, that's Rick. Hey, Jesse, should we give him that video?
Rick, what did you think about that?
Are we crazy?
About Willie Mays.
Did you hear that? No? Oh, he's kind of asleep.
Okay. He's kind of asleep, yeah.
Hey, should we have him show this video over here?
Yeah.
So how long time are you going to have this show? That's just my question.
We're gonna wrap up, and then we're gonna see if Rick can play this little video for us, because I went on a date with this girl. Well, a few dates. We went date and we went places. We did things.
I told Gilbert, you're Mexican. Date a Mexican girl, but he didn't listen.
I didn't listen. You there, Rick? Yeah, you want to play that? If you can play that, Rick. Yeah, and I want to give you guys like a first-hand account of if we can wake Rick up.
Hello?
This is my date.
Is this Ruth? Yeah, I'll be right down. God damn it! Nice day, huh? Yeah. Shove it up your ass! Jeez, you okay? I'm sorry. I have Tourette's syndrome, and it causes me to have these uncontrollable outbursts. It's not so bad. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, you get used to it. Ball sweat! Anus liquor! There are some places I can't go. Nipple biter! What are you talking about? Barely noticed it. Oh. Scrotum! Sperm face!
So that was me, man. I was, Jesse, it was exactly like that. We're going to change the subject. It's getting late, and we'll go back to talking about Jesus and Peter. But yeah, man, that was my experience.
Gilbert, was she a pioneer?
She was not. She did have a small tattoo, a little small one, about that big, about that big, right there. A little small one, about that big. But so I thought, okay, that's safe, right? And then, but man, oh man, I mean, that video is like, no, it's not an exaggeration, but she doesn't have Tourette syndromes.
Oh my gosh, what does she have?
I don't know. Angerism. You know how you get like a disease is ism. So
Could she have liberalism?
I think she is a little liberal. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And I mean, I was like, wow. And so
Gilbert,
like,
my suggestion to you, MGTOW.
I know men go their own way. So that's what happened to me, man. You know, and
you got to have a.
I'm a glutton for punishment because I keep going back.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have what is called celibacy.
Now I'm a perfect gentleman around her. I really am, you know, and I'm nice and she knows it, but she knows that she has a problem, you know.
But you know what?
But she won't admit it. She won't come out
I
and say it.
know.
Yeah.
You have to go back to where Hernan Cortez came to America, going back to the roots of the Mexican race. There was a grandma up there cutting people open and sharing out their heart. So the Spanish showed up and just bitch slapped her. Goes, hey, quit sacrificing all yours. And that's how the Mexican race started. The mixing of the Aztecs and the Spanish culture. They had to beat the stupidity out of the Aztecs.
And you know what, Jesse? So I'm hanging out with this girl, right? And I'm thinking, I want to date a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh my!
And that's where I knew, like, I need help. I want to date a Jehovah's Witness, man, because after having gone to like the movies and like, I'll give you an example. Like, we go watch a movie, right? We go watch a movie, and
wait. You did date a Jehovah's Witness, the girl,
but she wasn't crazy.
No, I know, but she was a Jehovah's Witness. She would go out with other guys, get this fellowship. But then when you told her you're GG for GB, she dropped you.
Yeah, well, she found out that I was GG for GB. Yeah, but she'll go with, you know, yeah. But anyways, so I mean, she went on a rampage. Like, I picked her up, you know, and we're gonna go watch a movie, and she just out of nowhere starts yelling about how bad the movies are today, and Brad Pitt and is a terrible actor, blah, blah, blah. And I'm having to listen. I'm having to go like that. No, you're perfectly fine.
Okay, here's the thing.
And I got pissed off because I paid $50 that night. I'm like, I paid $50 to be yelled at. And this is the problem I have. I had a desire to go back and date Jehovah's Witness women. I need professional help. I mean, I'm like, you know.
And you know what? You need, if you're going to be our GG for GB,
yeah,
we need you to date a woman like Melania. Because you're going to be serving at Bethel. And we want you to have like a woman that understands you, walks with you. Maybe the worst she'll do is slap your hand.
I know.
When you guys are walking to Air Force One.
Gigi, who's typing? I don't know, Keith. I don't know who's typing. But I mean, that's just, you know, kind of give you guys what happened. That was funny, man.
I didn't follow you. This girl who you dated, was she a Jehovah's Witness?
No. She made me want to date a Jehovah's Witness. That's how bad it was.
Well, tell her about the Jehovah's Witness girl you did date. You got to listen to this.
No.
He was going after a Jehovah's Witness girl, and she was disfellowship. She had been with other guys, and anything goes. But then she found out that Gilbert was GG for GB. He told her before they went out, and she doesn't have nothing to do with him no more. She would date a murderer, a crack whore, anything, a Nazi lowrider, anything, but not an apostate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, man. You know?
Jehovah's Witness or what?
She was a Jehovah's
Witness. Well, I've never dated an ex-Jehovah's Witness.
No. Would you ever date a Jehovah's Witness?
If
look, okay, let me put it.
Hold on.
Let's say she has the body, perfect body, everything going on, beautiful hair, a lot of money, so you could be like a sugar daddy, GG for GB, sugar daddy.
She could be my sugar mama.
She could be your sugar mama. Would you date her? And you could be mean to her, and you wouldn't be accused of misogyny. So she'd be Mexican.
I don't know, Jess. You know what? It'll only no, because it'll only last for a month, 2 months.
Okay, but she secretly likes Trump.
Then there's a possibility, yeah. If I found a Jehovah's Witness woman that secretly liked Trump, then I would be like, okay,
pretty good.
Things are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. If there's a Jehovah's Witness woman out there who secretly likes Trump
and wants to serve in your administration,
yeah, I'd be like, you know, because yeah.
In the GG for GB, what would she be? GG would be first lady.
Well, the first thing I would have her do is clean up my apartment.
At Warwick. We're at Tuxedo Park.
Tuxedo. But yeah, I just have her clean it up. It's a mess right now.
Wow. Now, listen.
Six screens love line after hours.
Okay,
I just
listen. Would you date a sister, a Jehovah's Witness sister, who is a PMO, physically in but mentally out?
If she was Republican, yeah.
Okay, would you date a sister who is hardcore Jehovah's Witness, but she likes you for all your physical traits, but she says that she only loves Jehovah? Those type of women.
Yeah, you know what? I would respect her for drawing the line, but yeah, no.
How would you respect her? Like in Greece?
Well, yeah, for yeah. What do you do with her for the other 23 hours and 45 minutes of the day? But I would not get involved with the Jehovah's Witness diehard. No, because it's a threesome. It's a threesome relationship. It's me, her, and the governing body.
Would you date a Jehovah's Witness girl from California? Because everybody says that the girls from California are more.
God, they're so beautiful, but no, man. It just is. Have you seen how expensive it is?
Wait. You're saying with inflation, the Jehovah's Witness girls are more expensive now?
Everything is expensive in California. The hell, I'm not going to go over there and slave. There's no. I don't care how good.
Gilbert, you cannot put a price tag on your
apostasy. No, but I mean, you're going to go slave 8, 10, 12 hours a day and live for Gavin Newsom?
I know.
No. If she don't want to move to Arkansas or Arizona or some other place in the state where you can live comfortably, hell, she can keep California. She can keep Watchtower.
Let's say she's a beautiful.
That's what. But I'm saying no because I was already a slave for Jehovah. Now you want me to be a slave for Gavin Newsom? It's the same thing with a woman from New York. I'm going to be a slave for them? No,
Yeah, but there's different in New York. In New York, you have your city and you have your folks.
Yeah, but I have a friend of mine who did that, and Felix lives in Alabama now. He has a good.
Wait.
Yeah.
But the women in Alabama have no teeth.
No, he got her from Mexico, and then he's living in Alabama, and he's living comfortably. He's enjoying life.
Oh my gosh!
You
Look
can't,
at Gabby.
You can't enjoy life when you live. Yeah, I don't know.
Look at Gabby's question. It's a good question.
Would you date a vac sister with a cat? Well,
oh my gosh, that is like strike 2 right there. You're in the bottom of the 9th.
Well,
3 men on and 2 men out, and there's a sister with a vax and a cat.
Well, check this out, man. So this girl, she has 2 cats.
Oh. No.
So not only she had Tourette syndrome, but she also has 2 cats. I gotta cut
you gotta say no.
I gotta. Yeah. So what's worse, the vax or the cat?
Where you were talking, Gilbert, you were talking about this dating. Where were you going with this? Was it to say that you're tired now after all the dating, and that's why you're going to wrap up the show?
Let me answer that. As you know, Gilbert, and I'm the helper, the governing body helper, Gilbert is going to be elected as your governing body, GG for GB. So we need to find him a good date. So when he goes to Bethel and he goes into the White House, Jehovah's house, he needs to have a strong woman.
Mm-hmm. That's why we're discussing these things.
That's why we're discussing it. Now, normally we don't allow people to get involved in our love lives, but because Gilbert is so noble as the GG for GB.
Yeah. And we just took a break from the show because we were talking about Jesus and Peter and for an hour and something. We just wanted to break the ice. And JW Suicide, Steen, Ricky, and everyone's having a good time.
And for the sake of showing people the difference what apostates are. Mm-hmm. We're not conspiracy theorists, so we bring everything out in the open. Mm-hmm. If we were not bringing up Gilbert's love life, then you would start conspiracy theories about Gilbert. You would be saying that he's an orphan gay dude from Vienna, something like that.
Yeah. So
So what we're doing is we're bringing out for transparency.
Yeah, like Mark Sanderson, he's a 55-year-old virgin.
Let the conspiracies begin.
Yeah, he's not transparent.
No.
Yeah, that's
Gilbert. So what it is, you should be real happy that you have a governing body member here who's transparent with his sex life,
or lack thereof.
Yeah. Yes. Any other questions?
You seem to be dating women. Then you must be a heterosexual man.
Yes.
Wow, pretty good.
She's very observant.
You're very observant. Are you affiliated with any deep state?
No, no.
Hey, that's a very good question. Very good question.
Steen wanted to know, how do we get from Peter fishing to buying love life? Because we took a break. We took a break because, it's good to talk about Jesus and Peter, but eventually you need to have a break. And that's what we did. We talked about.
Oh, I have a question for you before I forget, Gilbert. Because I think you said Robert. The last time we talked about politics, you mentioned Robert, and I didn't hear it at the time. I had to listen to it again. So were you referring to Robert Hertzberg, or how you spell it?
Who?
Forgive us.
I didn't understand the
Well,
question.
I asked you, who can be a leader of the Democratic Party instead of Kamala Harris?
Kennedy.
And you
Bobby
said
Kennedy.
Robert.
Bobby
So
Kennedy.
I'm
Bobby
asking,
Kennedy.
was that Robert Hertzberg?
Bobby Kennedy
Bobby Kennedy could do it.
could do it. Bobby Kennedy's a Democrat, and they kicked him out, and they made him run as an independent. But Bobby Kennedy is a Democrat, and he has the votes of the people, but they did not let him play the game. They kicked him out of the game. And his last name is Kennedy. His dad and his uncle got shot.
And he loves freedom.
And he loves America. So the answer to your question is Bobby Kennedy. Robert Kennedy Jr. has more than enough votes in the Democrat Party, but they will not let him run because he wants to take the Democrat Party back to the days of his dad,
of his uncle,
and his uncle. So, and that's what happens a lot of times.
I have been thinking, maybe we need some high up military man to take charge, like a very scary person, because I mean, Trump can be pretty scary when he talks to big military leaders of other countries. But I think Putin has been in the military and he can be a pretty scary guy, I think, sometimes.
Well,
I was considering maybe there will be wars now. We're going into a time, maybe big wars and things. Maybe we need a president who is also military. What do you think?
No, because see, we're the GG for GB office.
Yeah.
Make love, not peace. Make love, not war.
Yeah. But you, in all fairness, and that's a good question, because in all fairness, Donald Trump's vice presidential pick was a member of the military, but unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that. So that's his fault. The person that Donald Trump picked, the senator, J.D. Vance, people don't know that he served in the military and in a high capacity.
And the last 4 years, did we start any war? Because we're always starting wars. We're Americans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're accused of. But during the Trump administration, did we start any new wars?
No.
So we got a track record with one guy.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Wow.
Good question.
Good questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some good. So anybody want to call in? I wonder if Pixie's here. I think I already asked that one time. But Pixie, she's not watching. She's probably on a hot date.
Gilbert, somebody claimed that you're a trisexual.
I'm a trisexual.
T-R-Y.
Trisexual, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I keep trying. I'm working it, boss. I'm working it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are good questions because a lot of people, Jesse, that's one I've noticed YouTube videos where they get lots of views, and it's that. Like, don't date a Jehovah's Witness, you know. And I would just say don't date a Jehovah's Witness because they're not in love with you. You're not priority number one.
Now, I know that you come from a very erudite culture. Being a Mexican American, it's a privilege to be a Mexican American. Now, the last caller had a beautiful accent.
She's from Sweden.
Sweden?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that at?
Sweden? That's cold country up north.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you date a woman?
No.
With that kind of voice?
No.
I wouldn't say that word because if I say that word, then people take a shot. And I don't want them to get drunk here.
Would you date a Mexican?
Yes.
Oh,
pretty good.
I would like to just you know what, because that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I just because I would have to keep it either Mexican or American because it's what I know. You know.
I'll ask her.
Now, if I was like 20 years old, 21, you know, ignorance is bliss and everything. But you know what? When you get older and you get set in your ways, yeah.
Okay, I got a question for everybody. If you go to Facebook, Jehovah's Witness Facebook, if you go to social media, anything that is Jehovah's Witness,
Mm-hmm.
and look at the Jehovah's Witness pictures
Mm-hmm.
of all the young people at the convention around service, does anybody notice the sexual chemistry?
Mm-hmm.
That the field service is about sex or meeting a boyfriend and a
Mhm.
girl. It's not about God or Jesus. It's about guys being with girls. And there's nothing wrong with it. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No.
But I wish they would just come out. They're going out in service to meet girls.
Yes.
Guys.
Yeah.
You one time called the Jehovah's Witnesses is really just a social religion. What do you call it?
Yeah. Social. No. This is very important because look at I heard this from my brother Joe. And Joe, my brother passed away, and it's true. I've heard this from a lot of people, like because in America, we have Black Americans who have a distinct culture that's similar to the white Americans, right? But it's still everybody knows that Black families have a distinct culture. And if you marry a man marries a Black woman, or a woman marries a Black man, you marry the whole family, and you're going to bring that culture into your home. So I would be okay with that because I'm American, Black. Okay, we're closely. But like say like JD Vance, she's beautiful, his wife, but she's from India. I don't like that Bali movies. I think I'm 50 plus years old, and I want to either be with a woman who wants to listen to Frank Sinatra, or Jose or Pedro Infante. Either one, it doesn't matter. But I don't want to be, no matter how pretty this Indian woman is, I don't want to hear her be going bang, 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 and Bollywood. I just can't. I'm like, no.
You're like Joe Biden. Joe Biden made fun of the Indians. He goes, you can't go into a 7-Eleven and not see an Indian person. Yeah. But so you're being racist.
No, yes, I am.
I know, but maybe she's Americanized. Maybe she has
but she still has family. See, I can deal with the Black culture because we're so closely related.
Wait a second. Yeah. If you have a problem with an Indian woman, how come you love Gandhi so much? You're always talking about.
But
Gandhi.
I don't want to marry him though.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah. And Tad from Japan is there. I couldn't even do a Japanese woman. Yeah. No.
Japanese women are some of the greatest women in the planet. They had to put up with all that Tojo shit.
I know. But I don't like, I don't mind eating sushi. Like remember Jackie Chan's sushi?
Yeah.
But you know what it is when you get older, you get set in your ways. But yeah, there's no rule of. When you're younger, you're more. When you're younger, you're willing to take more challenges.
Listen,
go ahead.
Now you got Ricky Bobby being racist.
It's more difficult when you get older.
Yeah,
but I think what he was really referring to is about having peace of mind, and that's more valuable than having a beautiful woman or being married it's better to be single and have peace of mind.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, one question. Were you married?
If you don't mind, I'm asking.
If you don't mind us asking, were you married?
I don't mind you asking. I was never married, and I was never baptized, and I have no children, because way back when I entered Jehovah's Witness, you were not supposed to get married, you were not supposed to have children, and you were not supposed to be in a room alone with a man. So,
oh my God,
those were just the things back then when I joined.
You're the real McCoy.
Yeah.
I didn't take blood for my operation either.
Wow.
Even though I was only a student, I didn't take blood.
You're the reason we're serving in the GG for GP. You're the real deal.
The bad thing about this thing is that we're talking more now about the love relationship than we're talking about Jesus and Peter. So, but a lot of people love this subject.
You, Gilbert, were you married, Gilbert?
Yes, I was married for 2.
You were married for 2 years and you have children?
No, too long.
Too long.
Yeah. She stepped on it, huh?
Yeah.
No. I was, it's.
Now, how long do you think I've been married?
Like 30 years.
37 years.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my wife. I had her. You probably saw her right now. She's out here cooking.
Mm-hmm. And what's she doing now? Fixing
She's
the hole?
not-
I
she's
didn't see her. No, but I knew you were married, but I didn't see her.
She
You want me to call her?
she was fixing the hole in your pants.
Watch this.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
No, I'll call her right now. Her name is Elizabeth. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Lisa.
No. Ricky Bobby, I was married too. Yeah, he liked that one. Yeah, I was married too.
Ricky Bobby's been married too long too.
But you know, just I've noticed that's a great subject too. You know, maybe on the next 2 weeks when we do the video. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses like that subject. You know, should you marry a Jehovah's Witness? No. Yes. Yeah,
I think that the question everybody says, like, now this beautiful woman from Sweden, what is her first name? Grace. Grace, you went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Your story is a beautiful story. You've seen a lot. Now, can I ask you a question, Grace?
Yes, but I can't promise I will answer.
What?
She can't figure out. Hurry up.
Okay. My question for you is: was the reason you didn't have family? Was it because of the Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yes, they told us we were not supposed to get married because it will interfere between me and God. If I have a man, I will put him in focus. So, and that will interfere with my relationship with God. I would tend to his needs and focus on him. So we were not supposed to get married. We were supposed to be single, no children, and just focus on being a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, so I grew up in the 70s in the Jehovah's Witness, 70s and 80s. So you must have grown up in the 50s and 60s with the Jehovah's Witnesses, I imagine. I could be wrong.
No, I'm not born in. No, I'm not born in, and I was never baptized.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Hey, so, man, if you guys have questions, throw them down on the comment section. Ricky Bobby says, the love line, 6 screens. I love it. So if you need a love counselor.
Okay, I have one.
Okay,
I have one.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is a deep question for everybody. This is a love question. Mm-hmm. And this hurts. This one hurts.
Okay.
The brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters that didn't have babies. I have 8 grandchildren, babies, and
7.
I have 7 grandchildren. I forget. There's a lot of Mexicans running around here.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, do you think there is a regret at a certain age when you look back and you didn't have any children?
Yes, more so for the women. Men, no, but women, I think, from my experience watching videos, taking phone calls, it really affects the women in a very bad way. It does.
Like Grace.
Yeah,
like Grace.
A lot of women. Yeah. Men, I think, can deal with it a little bit more, but by not getting married, having children, I've taken phone calls. I mean, the Wake Hotline. This is something that is like a punch in the gut from Watchtower. Men go their own way, but women.
I think you are right in some sense, but also you're wrong because women have girlfriends, and we talk to each other. We do everything together. We go shopping together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, men are more lonely wolves, and they are not as social creatures as much as women are. So we are more protected with our girlfriends.
No, I understand, but in all of the phone calls that I've taken over the years, dealing with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, that's one thing I've noticed, that Watchtower really hurt the women when they didn't have children. It goes back to what the series of videos Jesse and I do, the dereliction of duty that Watchtower did. That really hurt so many women, and karma will repay the governing body for what they've done, in my opinion. And she goes, I'd like to share something with you if I can. Dallas, what would you like to share with us in a form of a question on the chat section? Yeah. Whoa.
I'd like to share that this about so many of them, that this truly is the that you don't that what it's about is that there's nothing wrong with marriage, and I love that point that you have about certain ones that so many variety, and that they don't have to be right for marriage, but there's nothing wrong with being friends with them.
Correct.
Were you married?
No, but I've had interest, and I've thought about it, that maybe there'll come a time I'll do it. It's in my, and of course, I've met some friendly ones from many countries around the globe that I've come to love, and learning about their world.
Mhm.
Was he a witness?
How long were you a witness?
It was a long time. Born in, but then I got some great point that there's your born ins, and that's one of them. Your converted, your converts, or brought in.
Mhm.
And then there's another group, the done-ins.
Done in.
What is that?
Born in, done in.
What is that? What are the done-ins?
The done-ins are, they stubbornly stick to it.
Oh,
That there's nothing you could do, and it would surprise you that if a done-in, that they would wake up, which is rare.
got you. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. Yeah. I got a question for all the sisters listening. This is going back to the six screens love life line.
Yeah, the 6 screens.
Would
love
any
line.
woman here, would you date a Jehovah's Witness man or Leather King?
That's a good question. And you know what? I've noticed that Jehovah's Witness women that I've run in contact with and on the chat, they hate the idea of dating a Jehovah's Witness. Whereas men are very open-minded on this subject. Men, because men think differently than women. But women, man, I've had conversations with them, and they're like, they get angry at the thought of dating a Jehovah's Witness man. And the reason why I think it's real simple goes back to an ex-Jehovah's Witness woman knows that a Jehovah's Witness man will love the Watchtower more than her. And so when a woman enters a relationship where she's second fiddle, she's already pissed. So that's why, whereas a man, he's like, I don't care, I got the woman, she's mine. And men think differently. It's a different thought process.
But look, here's the problem we have. Here's the problem. We're going to go in time and space. We're going to go supernova on everybody. Percy Sledge said, and Gilbert addressed this in one of his videos, the great Percy Sledge from the 1960s. Was it Motown or pre-Motown? But anyways, he said, when a man loves a woman, can't take his mind off nothing else, he'd trade the world for the good thing he found. He'd lose all his comfort, sleep out in the rain. Jehovah's Witnesses have met women out in the world that are not Jehovah's Witnesses. And so all the men in the United States that are, or in the world, Jehovah's Witness, maybe at school or somewhere in the world, they met a girl that they loved, like Percy Sledge, when a man loves a woman, and they are forced to give up that woman. And there's a lot of hurt, a lot of regret, 20, 30, 40, 50 years long. You see her at a reunion or you see her somewhere in the street, and Jehovah broke you guys up.
Yeah. Now the problem with me dating a Jehovah's Witness woman is this. I'm not your ordinary apostate. See, if you're watching this video, you're a man, you can date a Jehovah's Witness woman. I can't. I'm GG for GB. It doesn't work. I'm serious. I've done this many times. It does not work. I'm GG for GB. The elders are going to know you married who? So it's going to cause so if you're a Jehovah's Witness, if you're a man, you can go on the down low. You can hang out low and just, nobody's going to know that you were an ex-Jehovah's Witness. You can do it, but not me. So it's very incompatible. It doesn't work because, imagine, her family comes over and she goes, "This is my husband Gilbert." that's the apostate. See, so it doesn't work. But in normal circumstances, a normal man, I could see, you see a Jehovah's Witness woman. She's not tatted out. She doesn't do drugs, and she's everything that you think of. But she's a Jehovah's Witness. I think men will tend to they'll give in. They'll say, okay, I'll work this. I'll give it my best shot. Women know, because women instinctively know that they're second fiddle, and no woman wants to be with a man who views her as second best.
Wow.
Am I wrong or am I right? Because usually I'm right on this. I'm single, looking for someone compatible, not, mind you, lustness relationship. Keith, if you don't mind our asking, what state are you from? Joe and Fran are trying to get people together, like, maybe we should get people together like in a website that actually make money.
Wow.
No, just kidding.
Apostate chat.
Are you going to the ex-Jehovah's Witness convention? Because that would bring people together.
No, not yet, because Rick hasn't made me a keynote speaker. So if Rick makes it, he mentioned I was going to be in the bathroom, duty. But yeah, if he can move me up to like,
he got me in the parking lot.
Yeah, if he can move me up to passing mics, I might go. But yeah, it's still a while. I don't know. It's like in Casablanca when he says, "I don't make plans that far ahead." Yeah. So I haven't.
And you got to remember, one of the things is, me and Gilbert are not used to playing second fiddle. We were in the Spanish congregation, so we all had something. Now we're in the English congregation, and we have to go park cars, clean bathrooms.
But in the last video, I talked about how if I do go, I could hire busty women, women with big boobs, like Andy Kaufman. And so a girl called me. She's on the chat, and she goes, "Gilbert, you went a little bit too far." And I go, "No, Andy Kaufman, the great comedian, did as something a great comedian would do."
They were carrying little dogs that were barking.
Yeah. So but it's to liven up the show, but it's
right.
But I wouldn't do that. It's Rick's home,
So you're gonna go like not Andy Kaufman, but his character, his alter ego.
Yeah, like his alter ego, like show up with two big busty women.
So you're gonna be like GG for GB.
Yeah, and then and then I could be like the song, and let's give him something to talk about.
Yeah,
let's give him something to talk about. But yeah, and then she's like, "Gilbert, you can't say that because people are gonna get mad at you." I'm like, whatever, But it's comedy gold, and that's the whole thing. If you're gonna be an apostate, you gotta have fun. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Enjoy it, man. Have fun. Have fun.
But would you, Gilbert? Would you date an ex-Jehovah's Witness woman?
Ooh, now that's a good question.
That's a good question. An ex-Jehovah's Witness woman. Like I said earlier, if she likes Frank Sinatra or Pedro Infante, because I'm older, and when you get older, you're
accepting your ways.
Yeah, and I don't want to reinvent. I don't. I'm not 20 years old where I'll put up with, an Asian grandma moving into the house and with all my Asian in-laws.
But
which is fine.
Okay, I get you. But I mean, you and your brother, you live in what? You don't live in Mexico anymore. You live in Arizona or what?
In Arizona, but come on. When we were growing up, it was very common that a white guy marries a Mexican woman, and next thing you know, the white guy is landlord to 50 members of her family, and they're coming across from Mexico getting papers. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I'm set in my ways. That's all.
But we're in Arizona. Yeah. Give Biden a couple more months, we might be Mexico.
Yeah, we might be Mexico. Yeah, that's all I'm saying is that when you get older,
it's very hot. It's very hot in Arizona. It's like 115 Fahrenheit or something.
Okay, this is how bad it is in Arizona. It didn't happen today, but it was almost. We have like it's a huge wall. It looks it's a huge dust cloud of dirt. It's just huge. It's a wall of dirt. And behind it you see those black clouds. And so like every once in a while, like every 3-4 years, it literally rains mud, because you get the dust storm that comes in, and then the rains come right behind it, and it literally rains mud in Yuma and Phoenix, Arizona. But it's a very rare event, but I've seen it many times.
Look, I got this is how hot it is in Arizona.
Mhm.
I got my green card
Mhm.
and my air conditioning thermostat right here, and my King James version.
Oh my God, TMI.
Okay.
So this is too much information, but it's juicy. Brenda Francisco says, I live with a JW man. We had an affair for years. He was married. He lied. A few years ago, his wife died. Now he wants me to be baptized and marry me after living with him. No way. And you know what, Brenda? Yeah, because it's the foundation of a lie. And that's the one thing, one thing you learn, like I've learned, is, just tell the truth, no matter how. And doesn't mean that you have to give out too much information.
Correct.
But man, if you're lying, man, yeah.
And Brenda, do you have a sister?
Brenda, do you have a sister?
Just kidding.
Just kidding. Yeah.
Sophomoric humor.
And there's a Brenda I know, and I mean she likes me too,
Yeah.
And down here in Yuma, but she has this tattoo, this nasty looking tattoo right here. It's ugly looking, and she's cute and everything. Her mom loves me and everything. I met her family down in Mexico.
Does she have a dad tattoo?
No, but it was and I just can't get over it. I can see a small one, but I mean this one is like, like it says George was here, something like that. I just like, but like right there, it's just like I can see if it was hidden, but it was just too much.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Am I asking too much? No, it's just I think what it is a little modesty. I like a little modesty, just a little, and when it's too flamboyant, like when you have 3 pounds of metal in your face, or it's just
a hairy butterfly.
A hairy butterfly. Just tramp stamp. You know what, Keith? There's a JW girl. She's a real beautiful girl. I ain't gonna mention her name, and she has a tramp stamp, and she told me when on the phone, and she's looking for a guy. I can give you her number, and she I think she lives. But anyways, real beautiful girl. She has a tramp stamp. But yeah, you could, and she told me.
I think there is a big difference between dating an ex-Jehovah's Witness woman and dating an ex-Jehovah's Witness man. Because I think some men who have been in Jehovah's Witness, they get really angry.
Yeah.
They get really angry from all the things that happen in Jehovah's Witness. I would be cautious. I would maybe date him for 5 years until I would trust him to marry him. I would be afraid maybe he's angry on me and punish me for what happened in the Jehovah's Witness or something.
Hey, Grace, let me tell you something. And let me just throw this at you, see what you think. But let me just give you a little history where we live in the Jehovah's Witness world, in the Spanish. A lot of the men here, you'll go to a Kingdom Hall and there's 50 women and about 4 single men. And the single men do not want a sister who's over 30 or who has been married or divorced. They want all 18, 19, 20-year-old models. And so a lot of the girls are left over in the Spanish because there's not a lot of men. There's more women than men. Did that happen in your culture?
Probably did.
Here in Sweden, it's more normal that young people marry young people, and so we don't have that problem. I feel like in United States, there are so many old men chasing after young.
That's what I'm saying.
There's almost children, almost. I mean, we don't really have that problem in Sweden.
Yeah, and I don't like that because
You tricked me. Now you tricked me saying Sweden 2 or 3 times. Now Ricky Bobby is going to have a shot. Now everybody is going to be drunk because of you.
I know. But here's the thing. I know. But the thing about the reason about young girls, and I think it's wrong, when old men try to pick up on young girls, because a young girl deserves a young guy so they can have babies and have a family. And I think when you're an old man, and you're robbing the girl of her full potential. That's all. That's just my opinion. But Ricky Bobby, you're right about the tattoos. I don't have tattoos, but it's the inside that matters. Yeah, you're right. But it's what do I do, Ricky? I go to I go on JW Broadcasting and I give a speech, and my wife is there, and and it says MS-13. I mean, come on, just
something happened to me at lunch today. Me and my wife, we were at the mall, and we were eating at In-N-Out Burger, and this girl drives up in this beautiful white Corvette, like pearl white. Pure white, and somebody hit it with a outside of Sam's Club. Somebody hit it with a shopping cart, and she went ballistic, almost killed the guy, and then everything. They got their ID and everything for insurance and everything. She wanted to kill him, so she got in her car after everything was done, and she drove over to the corner where there's a tattoo parlor, and she got a tattoo on her body.
So what's the moral of the story?
We won't scratch our car, and we'll kill anybody who scratches our car. We'll cause a war if anybody scratches our car. But then we'll go and beat the hell out of our skin. So we're a very materialistic people, where we hold our cars into higher esteem than we hold our bodies.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe what's his name says Keith says, Gilbert, you're old. And it's true, I'm out of touch, man. Yeah.
Hey, a simple wrong would have sufficed.
And then Ricky says she does not have an MS-13 tattoo. Okay, MS something. I don't know what it was.
Right.
And I know Shaq has a lot of tattoos, but I'm not attracted to women with a lot of tattoos. Yeah,
I don't know. With a name like Composer, I wouldn't think you have any, because you think he's more like a classical person.
Yeah,
because he's got a classical name.
I think that's an age. That's also an age thing. I think
Yeah.
if you're an older person,
Yeah.
then you're set in your ways. Tattoos is not an option, maybe. But young people, they are more having tattoos now. So I mean, it's a different thing for them, I think.
No, yeah, it is. You're right about that. And there's I'm not judging. We're not saying anything. It's just it's like Elvis Presley says, it's your baby, you rock it. So you're the one that has to go to bed every night and look at it. So if you're going to go to bed every night and she's going to go to bed every night with you,
but my point
you have to be okay with it.
My point is right.
Yeah.
If we scratch anything,
No, you have to be attracted. You cannot have a partner that you're not attracted to. Then you can't get married. That's impossible.
Exactly.
But I mean, I wouldn't want to have a Jehovah's Witness man. I would be very afraid they have satanistic things and demons in my bed and all over and ghosts, and I would be terrified to get married to a Jehovah's Witness man who is still practicing it. I mean.
Yeah, that's cool. So so we spent a lot of time on this subject. So I feel bad because Jesse, we talked a lot about Jesus and Peter and the fishes, and then we try to break the ice and but we had to, because it's real late night and
I hope you brothers took notes.
So
So when Gilbert gets into the office and Watchtower,
and that's what the governing body needs to do. They need to have a love counselor session.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to have love counsel. So a lot of people have questions, and they need to be able to have a place to go. So if you guys have any questions, dating questions, we don't get in the sex thing because that's behind closed doors, man. Like Judge Joe Brown says, he calls it when you get your freak on. That's your business, man. Don't be talking about your freak. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. And why is it that Jehovah's Witnesses, have you noticed how ex-Jehovah's Witnesses come on the 6 screens and they come on other channels and they let everybody know, like, I was disfellowship for fornication when I was in San Diego, and then I moved to Los Angeles and I was
there's certain things,
and they're always telling everybody that, like I got disfellowship 14 times for fornication. It's like, really, man? I mean, don't kiss and tell. And for some reason, there's a lot of ex-JWs that love to kiss and tell about their sex life. I don't think that's...
Maybe they're exaggerating.
Maybe they're exaggerating? So you're saying that some of the people that are calling in...
No, I'm just saying it could happen.
that say that they got disfellowship 14 times.
Yeah, kind of like stolen valor. You know, everybody was a Navy SEAL, and then you find out that they weren't even in the Navy. You know, same thing. Maybe they got this fellowship for stupidity.
You know what?
Yeah.
Girls tell. I've talked to girls before, long time ago, and they got guys that talk about having, you know, a big body member. They're the ones that have the smallest ones.
Wow.
Yeah, and yeah. So it's So yeah, a lot of stolen valor there. Demons in the bed. Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah, we don't need to know what people do in there. Whatever happened to that girl? Well, we're not going to talk about that. Locker room talk. Yeah, Ricky. Locker room talk. Late night with Jade. Yeah. Good thing Rick Farron is asleep.
Hey, you know what? We heard one case.
Yeah.
This was, you know, talk about locker room.
The locker room.
There was this one case. Somebody got married.
Hold on. They have small governing body members.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Now go. What were you saying?
Oh, that story was so sad.
Which one?
It was the story of his sister, middle-aged, and she married an older man, pioneer, good, everything. But he had never been married. They were middle-aged.
So middle-aged couple, Jehovah's Witnesses. Was she married before? She was married before.
And this guy was a pioneer.
This guy's a pioneer, middle-aged, virgin, 40-year-old virgin, right?
She married him, and then she had to annul it.
She annulled her marriage to a 40-year-old
No,
Jehovah's Witness?
they were like 50.
50-year-old virgin? So a 50-year-old dedicated Jehovah's Witness, pioneer, the whole thing. They got married, and she's like, I'm out. So she was a seasoned pro at one time. This sister played in the major leagues.
And this guy was
she was a professional, like Major League Baseball, NFL. You know, she played in championship games.
Let's put it this way. She came around third, slid into home.
Wow. And so this guy, 50-year-old Jehovah's Witness virgin, goes up to bat. Strikes out.
Nothing.
Not like, but listen, when it comes,
plumbing was never activated.
But women are very forgiving in the bedroom.
But it caused a scene because it was from Mexico and the United States. So both elder bodies were like two worlds apart. It almost caused an international.
So the Mexican elders were very conservative, and the American elders,
they were saying she was married, and the elders were no, she never annulled. They never consummated the marriage. It doesn't stand.
No, they probably but see, most women
he lied to her.
Oh, he lied to her. See, most women. Well, did he have a problem with his junk?
Yeah, he couldn't.
He couldn't. It never worked. But there's more than one way to satisfy a woman.
Not with the Jehovah's Witness, because they didn't go to the beach. You couldn't, you know. We all knew when we were kids.
But that goes back to communication, because it goes back to not telling the truth. If you're a man that cannot get an erection, then you just need to tell the girl, "Hey, listen, I can't do it, but I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I got the F pump 360 230 volt sex machine, and and I'm proficient at it, And so you tell the girl all the things that you can do. You just tell her, I can't do this. But he didn't even tell her any of that. So she went in and it was like, surprise, surprise, surprise.
Well, the Jehovah's Witness, I heard,
wow,
they're creating their own purple triangle, purple pill. It's called the New System.
Yeah. No, see, on that one, Jesse, it was no, this is the thing. And this is, it goes back to the Jehovah's Witness thing. Jehovah's Witnesses don't talk about sex in their dating thing. Yeah. And no, I'm very serious.
If you talk to an elder off the record, if you talk to your elder off the record, and he's a cool elder, let's say back in the 70s or 60s or 80s, he would tell you to go to the beach.
Yeah.
He goes, I don't want to hear about it. I'll at least cop a feel or something. Or take a look.
Yeah, take a look.
And she does, and you do, and
yeah.
But there's some kids who are so Jehovah
for educational purposes and research. That's where research is okay. But
now, if this sister would have taken him to the beach, she would have known that he was out of reach. Yeah, he's not.
He just couldn't get it.
No,
not even.
He was never married. Never had a.
Doesn't matter.
I know, but the plumbing didn't work. You know how that song goes? When the final action called. He was 90 good, Liberty Valance, the man who shot Liberty Valance.
But see, that's the whole thing. He could, if he knew he had a problem, He could have gone and gotten a little bit of help. He could have practiced. You know, this is where the masturbation thing comes in. Practice, 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 practice makes perfect. So this guy so it goes back to communication and it goes back to the Jehovah's Witness. They're not talking about
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
So maybe he never wore the uniform.
Mhm.
So when they threw him out in the game, he didn't know.
Mhm.
I watched a baseball game one time.
So this guy went to the Major League Baseball and he never practiced.
Listen, I saw one time in 1975. I saw a game.
Mhm.
This guy came from Cuba. He always played in the American League. He was always a pitcher, so he never had to bat.
Mhm.
He gets to the biggest game and he's playing under National League rules. He gets a hit. He doesn't know where to run, to the right or to the left,
Wow.
because he was a pitcher all his life, and now he's in the biggest game in the World Series. That happened, 1975. Luis Tiant, one of the greatest pitchers.
I didn't know what to do.
No, and everybody's laughing. And the Cincinnati Reds, one of the greatest teams, they didn't know where to throw the ball. It looked like a clown show. And that's what happens when a guy's like 50 to 55, 60, and he's never had relations. There's a chance the plumbing won't work.
Wow. This we know this is not a conspiracy theory. This is Jehovah's Witness life. This is your life. Remember the TV show? See, practice masturbation. Yeah, practice, practice, practice. But I'm going to go back, on a serious note, in a situation. See, if
Shaq Composer got it right. Shaq Composer got it right.
No time in the batting cage.
He never had time in the batting cage.
But see, this is
he
why
never choked up on the bat.
Jesse, back in 2014, I would tell people, I am the Jehovah's Witness elder you wish you had when you're going to the Kingdom Hall. Because if this brother would have come to me, I would have told him, dude, it's okay. It's okay. You just need to get to the batting cages. That's all you need to do. Practice, practice, practice,
Yes,
practice.
some of the old elders would have done that.
Yeah.
But there's some elders that their panties are so tight that the testes have.
I would have felt comfortable, 2 men, and I would go to the sex shop and I would have said, girls, this is the problem we have. I need the 230 volt industrial sex machine, with high tension hydraulics, and shock absorbers.
Well,
I need to get this guy going because he's going to get married in 6 months. We need to get him ready.
But you're old school because you said there's more than one way to please a woman.
Mm-hmm.
But now with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, with the rate of inflation, it's just gotten hotter.
I know. So poor brother, man. This is what happens with a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't have nowhere to go when they have legitimate problems when it comes to sex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, Ricky Bobby loves this show.
No, that was a real story.
Yeah, you guys love this show, huh? A Milwaukee Drill. Yeah. So,
there was no Jehovah Jews.
hey, now after we hit end stream, you got to tell me who this guy was.
No, I can't say it, but it was a real story. It's a real story. It was a sad story.
Was it in the Yuma or the other
I don't
congregation
even
stuff?
back it now.
Okay.
It was a sad story.
Yeah, I'm depressed, man.
Someone you love.
Really? Wow. Yeah.
But it hurt. It hurt a lot of people. A lot of people.
I would have got him on the F Meister 330, but with
no, but look, it creates a spiritual dilemma because he lied.
Mm-hmm.
He can't be a man. He's not a man, a full man. He's a man, but his plumbing don't work. So it could be said that he's got the XY chromosomes, but they're dead.
No, but it doesn't matter. There's women that live happily married with other women. So you got 2 women that have no male members, and they seem to be happy sexually. So you say, son, I would have told the young brother, minister, listen, this is what we need to do. You need to talk to your woman and let her know how things are. And if you can perform with these with the double D, with the 4 double D the D batteries and the 115 volt and the 230 volt machines and the gliders, and practice before you get married. Hey, on this one, I'm gonna be your attorney before God. Your Honor, my client needs a reprieve on fornication, and for the express purpose of we're trying to get so I think on this one it's perfectly normal for a guy, a Jehovah's Witness who has this problem, if he could rock her world like a lesbian could rock another woman's world. If you could do this, you're going to be happy married, and you could be married.
No.
No?
Because I understand what you're saying about,
The logistics.
but he lied to her,
Oh.
so that changes everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the foundation. It's the foundation, yeah. The lie is the destruction.
Yeah, the woman was lied to.
Yeah, she was lied to. And she'll never be able to, if she wasn't lied to.
An experienced woman. So, no.
So it's like telling an experienced woman who played at the Super Bowl. Hold on. And then you say, we're going to go to the game. And you tell her it's going to be a Super Bowl. And instead you take her to Pop Warner football.
Yeah, but here's the question.
So that's what this guy did. He lied to her after she's been.
Yeah, not even Pop Warner.
Yeah.
He bought her a book about football. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, this dude screwed it up, man. Yeah.
Total loser.
Has he committed suicide?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing. So the question is, and everybody jokes about it, the test ride, or sometimes it's better not to tell the elders nothing. Like you're Jehovah's Witnesses who tell the elders everything. You're retarded. Hey, here's the dirty little secret. You know, every Jehovah's Witness, listen to me. Every Jehovah's Witnesses, when they're young and they're dating their wives, and they you hear the story always that they were heavy petting, and then they go and tell the elders, and they're both the wedding is ruined and everything. They're gonna get married, and they go tell the elder, they get the sudden conscience. Well, those elders that you're telling all did the same thing you're confessing to. They just did it 20 years earlier. Same thing, or even worse. So when you go confess to an elder, that guy is probably getting off on listening to you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the elders get off on listening. Yeah, I hate listening. I didn't listen to that stuff. Check this out. Gilbert, would JWs make a gay married couple divorce in order to get reinstated? You bet your bottom dollar. Booker T. Adams, the Jehovah's Witness elders back then and today would make you get a divorce in order to get reinstated. Keith Silver says, this is like after work with a beer. You're absolutely right. I mean, who does JW sex talk or JW relations talk better than the GG for GB? I don't think so. Absolutely, they get off listening. Oh man, you know, they get foam at the mouth, kind of like in that Naked Gun scene with George Kennedy is foaming at the mouth. And that's why I say, if a Jehovah's Witness woman is out there and you're going to get this fellowship,
don't go to the elders.
No, hold on. And they're going to call you for judicial. Go to the elders and tell them everything. I mean, make up a story that is like X-rated, like quadruple X, and make sure you record the Jehovah's Witness elders foaming at the mouth, asking you more.
Well, you got a video of it, huh?
and they would be like the Grease video. Tell me more. Tell me more.
It'll be like George Kennedy.
What? George Kennedy? Yeah, foaming at the mouth. So, if a woman ever did that video, a JW woman, like say a 22-year-old woman, and she just throws it all out there. Oh, and it was recorded, that would get like what, 50 million views?
Hey, and talk about homophobes. The worst are the elders. Talking about when our brother-in-law was an elder, and he was listening to a kid confess, and he was telling us, and he was bragging how he listened to him.
Because they're from San Francisco area.
And he's listening in with the elders to this guy confess, and everybody's ready to
exonerate him.
And he goes, this person you committed fornication with, was it a male or female?
Because I just have one question.
Yeah, I have one question, male or female.
And the guy was dumb enough to say that it was a gay sex. And then when they said they're going to disfellowship him, he whipped out his letter of appeal. He already had it ready. Yeah, Paul told that story. Yeah. So they want to know if you have sex with a guy or a girl. Yeah.
They want to know everything. They want to know what position. They want to know the frequency. Not like voltage.
Yeah.
Like a 2-stroke, 4-stroke, like Shaq saying. Not that. Frequency, how many times? Because I can't say frequency around Ricky Bobby or Shaq Composer. They start thinking about 2-stroke, 4-stroke, all this shit.
I know. Bunch of purrs. Yeah. So you're gonna get going?
Yeah, we gotta.
Okay. So Gilbert, the elder on my judicial committee, was having an affair with the pioneer sister and left his wife and kids and ran off with the pioneer sister and was disfellowshipped. Wow. Yeah, Booker, that is so common. Like you hear that same story in different versions all the time. This is not, yeah. Yeah, elders always gawking at young sisters. I always watch them. Yeah, yeah. Key Silver, are you done yet? Yeah, we're done, man. You guys have any more questions? Anybody want to call Rick and say, hey, Rick, we're done. Stick a fork in it. Hey, did you guys like the Jesus and Peter and the fishes? Or did you like the JW, what is it called? What do we call it? The JW what? Love Counselor. Did you like the GG for GB Love Counselor? That'll be, forget the Tale of Two Witnesses, huh? Call it the tale, call it a XJW. No, not GG Sex, no. Or lack of, no, GG Sex, no. Lack of. Keith, yeah, we're done. So guys, if you guys have any more questions, throw them out. I like the Peter stuff. That was really good stuff, huh? JW Suicide. We were knocking it out of the park with that. And I hope, I don't know if you ever heard that. I've mentioned that so many times before in my videos. Any drunk Bethelites listening right now? I don't think so. The Peter stuff was great. I liked it. And that explains, I think, because you know it says keep it simple, stupid. In its most simplest form, the Peter stuff. Jehovah's Witnesses keep it very simple. They don't know how to love. And I learned that. I really thought I was a loving person. And I realized I was a very hateful person. You know, with the disfellowshipping and all that other stuff. Armageddon, I was a very hateful. And all you have to do is just confess. Hi, my name is Gilbert Gonzalez. I was a very hateful Jehovah's Witness. I didn't even know it. I thought the birds were going to eat your eyes out. I'm sorry. That's all. It's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard. Great talk. 6 screens, dirty talk. Yeah. I could probably have a 1-900 number, huh? Damn. You know, because I need money for an operation. I gotta go see a doctor. I'm gonna go under the knife.
1-900-666-1914.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Let me see if we can do that. Guys, what do you think of this? I'm gonna put it on the chat session. 1-900-666-1914. Oh, now that, you see guys in the chat section? That is, it doesn't appear because they won't let you put a number. But 1-900-666-1914. I had fun with you guys, brother. Gilbert, the JWs are talking about the war in Gaza and Israel, Armageddon near. Something is, I'll answer that question. This thing about whether Armageddon is here or not, Jesus says, we don't know. But make no mistake. In 2,000 years ago, Jesus came to earth and we're still talking about it. 3,500 years ago, Moses was in earth and we're still talking about it, even though Mike and Kim and Jane Doe are trying to say that Moses wasn't real. And then 5,000 years ago, Noah was in the scene. We're still talking about him. What I'm saying is, in 2,000 years, people will be talking about what happened, what we're going to witness, what we're going to live through. That's how bad it is. It's like it is the Super Bowl of the Super Bowls. Whether Jesus comes or not, it don't matter. This is for all the marbles. This is for everything. And that's why Ronald Reagan gave that famous speech about it. If we don't win, then our children are what? Banished to 1,000 years of total darkness. So the Dark Ages. So,
but you know what, Gilbert?
Yeah.
That's a little uppity from a guy named Booker T.
Yeah, Booker T, I know. But that's a good question. Keith Silver, best talk ever next week. Yeah, that's great. Very silly. Yeah, JW Suicides, yeah. See, JW Suicide, she's jumped on the bandwagon. A lot of ex-Jehovah's Witness women, they don't understand our humor. Yeah, they're just like, they get angry real easy. But Jane Doe did come around. God bless her, even though she's an atheist. But but she came around. She understands the humor now. But yeah, a lot of you ex-Jehovah's Witnesses women, man, angry. Got to let go of the hate, let go of the anger, and 1-900 Armageddon. No, I like 1-900-666-1914. JW Sex Talk. Yeah, I love it. The hotline, yeah. That way I can get paid with the 900 number. Man, where's Rick when you need him? All right, guys. I'll just put the computer down. All right, guys. If you guys have any more questions, we're out of here. Any good ideas? Put them in the comment section for the next show on Rick. What would the next show? Should it be JW Sex Talk?
Yeah.
Now that I can do research on. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
We're gonna leave with our favorite outro song, dedicated to Grace.
We're feminists. Right in your face. Live out your dinner. Open your door. Other than that, what are they good for? We're feminists. Right in your face. Talking about men. We're fierce. We're feminists. They all want a girl. Just like the girl. Marry you, dear old dad. And make us so mad. Man.
Yeah, JW Sex Tales. That's a good one. Yeah.
How about No Tails?
No Tales, or everything you wanted to know about JW Sex, but were too afraid to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that Woody Allen did that great movie. Hey, Joe, hey, Guido showed up late. We're getting ready to wrap it up. You guys are bad. So that'll be the next show. Everything you wanted to know about Jehovah's Witness sex, but we're too afraid to ask. Okay. We're going to have special guests. Who would the special guest be? Lloyd Evans. Ex-Jehovah's Witness sex. Everything you want to know about ex-Jehovah's Witness sex, but we're too afraid to ask. With special guest, Lloyd Evans. That would be funny, man. That's a show. That's a show. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one. 3, 2, 1. Good night.
I see what you're saying. Hello, this doesn't work, or? Hello, can you hear me?